Good evening, everyone, and welcome to DPFL Live Event number 3 for the DPFL Championship, the main event for the entire weekend happening here on this Friday evening. It is singles. It's 501, race to 4, $6,000 to first place, $3,000 to second, $16,000 plus overall in prizes. I'm Sean Green, joined by Nick Dichiria. Nick, we got Brian Mercer taking on Jermaine Wadamina, Canada, taking on Netherlands.
Yeah, and immediately you're going to be shell-shocked because of the level of matches, the level of talent of these players that we're going to be seeing here. This is so early on. Either one of these guys, if they go on the run today, you wouldn't be too surprised about it. So the fact is one of them is about to get out of this event early on, and one is going to start their run off with some heat here on our stream board at least. Looking forward to this top 32 matchup here.
This is 501. We haven't done the... Oh, watch out, Scott.
Scott's walking very carefully
to get up there, and Jermaine was not happy about it. No, I'm just kidding. That's totally fine. Brian's from Newfoundland, so
which is Canada.
Just another great player from Newfoundland. They keep coming. You got John Norman Jr., you got Jacob Taylor, Brian Mercer now, another big name. And here's a fun fact: one of these players is seated in this event, and it is not the PDC professional.
How can that be?
Well, because Brian Mercer, DPFL, got it done. Jermaine Wadamina was a qualifier who got that job done yesterday.
Yeah, it's cool to have the multiple avenues of qualification. Having the on-site gives extra incentives for some of these overseas guys that sometimes have troubles making the league timing work for DPFL for the late nights and early mornings. So it's cool to have multiple avenues, and it gets so many cool talents. I mean, we saw last year Damian Mole go on a pretty good run in this event, and Jules, of course, as well. So it's great to see more talent and more international representation here.
Nick, you'll know this answer right away. Who won last year in this event?
I'm going to be honest. I'm actually drawing a blank here. I'd have to no. I would have to double check. I'm sorry. I don't know off the top of my head.
Perfect.
But you're right. I almost know. I had a 50-50 chance of knowing that.
Why are we echoing now?
Well, it looks like that was a beautiful checkout. 103. Oh, my goodness. Jermaine just starting us off with a ton-plus checkout. Of course he is. We're so busy getting everything settled in that kind of almost blinking. You missed on that first 100 plays, 99 average at the moment.
Yeah, and for anyone watching along with us, first of all, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button on whatever platform you're watching. But Jermaine Wadamina he's a PDC professional. His baseline for if he's throwing well or not is 15 darts or less. So that's going to be his goal. If you're Brian Mercer, that means you have to, against the throw, take it out in 12 or less. And you definitely need to hold your throw of 15 darts or less, or else this might be a quick race to 4.
Certainly, and that's going to be not just the standard for this match, but for the rest of the matches throughout the rest. I mean, if you're wanting to get out of the top 32, top 16, and you want to go on the run, you have to be thinking 15, 15, 15 every single time. And it's about the consistency of leg-by-leg performance as well and capitalizing on those key moments. If you're steadily throwing great darts, like that one,
yep, great 140,
you'll find yourself in very favorable positions time and time again.
We're eventually going to have to comment on this, so let's do it now. We've now seen multiple Europeans wear jorts.
Mm-hmm. They're in now.
They don't look bad.
It's also, I mean, frankly, it's hot in Florida. We're not going to acknowledge that.
I'm wearing shorts. I usually am, when I stream anything, I'm wearing pants. And hopefully always. But
admittedly, the hotel's been doing a good job keeping it cool and everything in here as well. So it's not even hot inside. But if you step outside,
cold.
Yeah, immediately feel it.
Guys, I used to joke around about the igloo at Nashville. We have a new igloo, and it is the ballroom here at the DPFL event. These players, you're going to see some posts about complaining a little bit about the air, how cold it is. And honestly, this is one of those situations where I'm right there. Double 12, double 6, hits the double 6. And it's 1-1. Brian Mercer, one of those players that's going to be able to stand up to Jermaine Wadamina. We've seen it already.
And Wadamina pressured that so well with the 140 there to set himself up on 20, saying, hey, if you don't hit the 75, I will go ahead and take this game out. So amazing pressure, amazing response to said pressure here. These guys are not even really bad in the eye, and honestly, they're playing at pretty good rhythms for each other.
Yeah, Brian's great. Oh. Brian Mercer actually last year was a quarterfinalist in the DPFL championship. Alex Spellman was your champion. And that's a 180 from Brian Mercer, and look at that. He got the job done without having to trip and fall on the Aki and get himself off the floor. So he shows Scott Hanisch exactly how to hit a 180 and not fall.
Yeah, and Scott's going to have to take lessons, and if he wants to improve himself as a player, he has to first make sure to protect his ankles.
I did ask Scott Hanisch how it has to feel to be the most popular North American dart player currently in the world. And he said he knew it was going to happen, so not surprised.
He knew it was going to happen. 164 might have to go here, especially if you want to try to take the darts away for Wadimina.
Another one? Oh. I'm telling you, I love Brian's throw. It's so smooth. I have not had a chance to watch him play very much, but that is gorgeous. Triple 19 would have left the double 12. Everybody knows how that.
Yeah, everyone knows the 141, right?
You
You have to. You have to. If you're a fan of darts, you have to.
All right, treble 19. 78 left, so treble 18 would leave 24. He might try a double-double combination. He did not. Just tease it up. Just in case Jermaine Wadimina does not hit this 32, and that's a big in case.
Of course, Wadimina wants to get this done here, needs this dart to go in, and
That's
it does.
it.
Gives a little bit of a
Yeah.
reaction to it as well because he knows how important that is. And Mercer did exactly what he's supposed to do. If you don't get the shot to check out, you need to at least make sure you're set up so you can immediately have that pressure moment in your hands.
Well, the number 1 seed, David Fadams, out there playing against the Youth Tour player, Mr. Ben Goddard.
Oh, there you go. Love to see that again.
And that's a 180 from Jermaine Wadimina. And so far through 3, you know the deal. Brian looking to match. Oh, 140.
Yeah, amazing composure from both these guys right now. Truly just kind of elevating to the moment and playing their A game, if not their A-plus game at the moment. 94, 97 in averages here. These guys are putting on an incredible standard, and a standard that they want to continue to maintain.
Love those side shots for the players, too. You can just see just how interesting. So the throw is always going to be textbook. It looks different from this advantage point. Like it almost looks like Jermaine, with the way he takes back the start, that he drops his elbow when he comes through, and he does not at all. It just is a little mirage.
Ah, there you go. 125 is going to be the looks. Gets to 25. Trip 20 here. Doesn't go, so he's just going to have to tee up. And now the Shanghai shot for Brian Mercer.
I think this has to go. And he's going to go look. Brian Mercer takes out the 120 to 15 dart it. 2-2 scoreline. I am impressed with Brian Mercer.
Yeah, the 103 checkout we saw earlier on, and now the 120 checkout. 10-plus checkouts are becoming a standard here in this matchup and this event in particular.
Thank you guys so much for joining us here. The DPFL Championship live in Kissimmee, Florida at the Reunion Resort. Beautiful, beautiful property here just outside of Orlando. The setup is phenomenal. The players in the field, second to none, really.
Yeah, I think second to none's a fair adage to say. I mean, you look
Here
at
in North America right now.
North America, I mean, in the average floor event, this would be a very competitive tournament, too. I mean, just with the level of talent here. It's great to see, and it's really helpful for the North American game to continue to grow through having events like this, having these international players help push us as well as us pushing ourselves to find that greatness.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now that the Europeans that are here that are playing in this event, it means a lot to them because it's their way to make back the money that they spent on this trip, and then some. $6,000 to first place, $3,000 to second, $16,000 plus overall as the prize fund for just this 64-player field.
Right now, Wadimina is looking like they're in good position, trying to get some pressure here from Mercer, but 100s to get themselves some match points here.
BDG, you are correct, by the way.
Oh, tried to get the double-double for us.
So Mercer 160. He's already hit the 120.
Yeah, if he hits this, it would bring the house down, but not going to happen here. Wadamina just gets 3 clear for 40 to make it 3-2.
Double 10. Nope. So Mercer has 100 left. This is a huge moment to break the throw. And he would be throwing for the match against the highest-ranked PDC professional in this tournament.
Yeah, and you don't typically expect him to have 4 missed starts at double, but Mercer here just hasn't been in position to exactly punish that from him. But Jermaine needs to stop messing around with it and take it if he wants it.
And he does stop messing around and pins that double 10. 3-2 scoreline in favor of Wadamina.
For obvious reasons, must hold this throw here for Mercer. But
What?
I know, crazy, right? But on top of that,
Why?
he wants to try to get the momentum away. He wants to not only win this leg, but win it in dominant fashion and try to shake Wadamina a little bit here. But of course, he's coming off as an indomitable spirit in general, just with how stoic he is on the stage.
Indubitably.
That's a different word, but very similar sounding.
Yeah. All right, so here is the rundown for the top 32 that's out there currently. David Fadum taking on Ben Goddard. Gary Mawson, Ed Pope. Brian Mercer, Jermaine Wadamina. Levi Cransel, Callie West. Michael Tieske, Brad Farley. Paul Tierney, Ron Gaiman. Leonard Gates has already dispatched Douglas Mauld, so he's the first person in the quarterfinal. Colin Rath, Jim Widmeyer. Chris Baer, John Brown. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Top 16. Brian Mundy, Norman Madu. Brian Garland, Ray Niceball. How about Matt Campbell, Alex Spellman as a round 2 match that's going on currently. Brandon Goddard taking on John Van Bleen. Kevin Hawkins, Jimmy Jones. John Shawman, Paula Murphy. And then Tucker Davey is waiting the winner of the last match going on. Harrison
Wadamina
Carter
does find it at the right time there, loading it up and getting himself in position to break the throw here to potentially get this 4-2. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's a big moment.
At 77, and now we'll have 6 darts at it too. That might be all she wrote for Brian Mercer. That was starting off so in fuego here.
Oh, great darts. Double 8
my
pins and Jermaine
goodness.
Wadamina. A 15-dart break a throw to win the match 4-2. He will move on. So Wadamina will take on the winner of Levi Cransel, Callie West for a spot in a quarterfinal.
Yeah, lovely stuff from these guys and some excellent performances all around. I'm looking forward to seeing how this storyline continues to develop. I know last year, now that I'm thinking about it, is definitely one to be remembered. Alex Spellman, Stowe Bunts were kind of going at it back and forth to try to fight for the MVP spot last year with how well they were performing. This year, there's so many new contenders, it's going to be hard to put a pin on who that MVP might be. But you know what? The MVP is you guys watching along as this wouldn't be happening if you guys were not cheering us on as well. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I have my carrier pigeon delivering me a note. Do want to give a huge shout-out to the PDC for letting us stream these players as well. Of course, it's a big honor for us to be able to represent this top-tier talent and really crucial to helping grow the North American game as well.
Yeah, 100%. A huge testament to them for allowing the players to be streamed by us live and not have us to have to go through a whole bunch of different loopholes and stuff like that. It makes it a lot easier. So also shout out to Will Stuart for having that relationship ahead of time and all that to help that. Brian Mercer, the 2 seed is out, but what a terrible draw to get Jermaine Wadamina for the man from Newfoundland. He was very impressive, but unfortunately his night is done in that. We're going to take a short ad break. When we come back, we'll be coming back with more action in this DPFL Championship live from Kissimmee, Florida. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
He's the greatest darting force on the planet. Bullseye. Oh, we got one. A fish has been landed. We know he's too good. The world #1, world champion. Incredible stuff.
Let me tell you about A to Z Darts. We're a specialty dart store with over 10,000 different products. We create in-depth videos and blogs to help improve your game and showcase our products. We give helpful advice on how to practice darts, the fundamentals of form and mechanics, and how to make better decisions when purchasing your darting equipment. Whether you're brand new or a seasoned player, we try to provide fun and informative content. I'm Jen, the creative director for A to Z Darts. I've been playing for over 10 years and I've traveled the world competing in and promoting the sport. This is Will. He runs our live streaming company, USA Darts, and travels the globe as well to broadcast major darting events and interview PDC players alike. You'll find over 2,000 different sets of darts on our website. Guessing right now you're pretty interested in our resources? Learn about form, throwing mechanics, practice routines, scoring and grouping, checkout methods, cricket strategy, and much more. Visit a-zdarts.com to take advantage of our blog or follow us on social media at AZDarts today.
Humphries is the greatest darting force on the planet. Bullseye. Oh, we got one. A fish has been landed. We know he's too good. The world #1, world champion. Incredible stuff.
baby. 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 I know the
What is going on, everyone? We are here for another matchup. Leonard Gates taking on Jim Widmeyer here in just a minute. William Stuart, Nick Dichiria on the call for this one. We do got a quick question I want to take care of. Sarah Towsley in the chat saying, where's the women's event that's happening now? Well, the women are participating in this bad boy.
Yeah, they are.
Callie West is playing right now versus Levi Cransell. I think that's tied up.
1-1 currently with Kelly West, and she already did just win her first round against Mark Lowe as well.
Yep, and then there's a couple other ladies in that shuffle for the DPFL Championship. They also played in the open singles event for the cricket side of things, and that happened a little bit earlier. So, but as far as I think just women's division matchups, that's not going to happen until the round robin stages tomorrow at 11 a.m. Yeah, that's when they kick off, and then their playoffs will be on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So there you go.
Do have another great comment in here. Pale Horse says, the Campbell versus Spellman match shows North American ability. Campbell almost a 102 average in the loss.
That's crazy.
Wow.
We do want to apologize for not picking up that match. We wanted to, but we're going to respect that Matt Campbell didn't technically get approval from the PDC to be on stream, and without that approval, we don't want to
get anybody in trouble.
Unfortunately, get him a fine. So it looks like we're underway. I just caught the back end of that. So here we go. Leonard Gates, Jim Widmeyer, 140 opener for Leonard.
Yeah, and Leonard Gates, of course, winning that singles cricket earlier today, the singles cricket open against Joey Luna there in very dramatic fashion. That was quite a back-and-forth affair there. So he already has one good final podium, but, of course, this is the final podium that these guys are trying to get on.
Yeah, I walked out there. I just jokingly said, hey, let's win another one. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes in regards to me. Just messing around with him. It's good.
Callie West currently 2-1 up over Levi Cransell.
I was wondering if she's going to snag that leg. There you go. And it just shows you the ability of, ladies everywhere. I mean, they're fully capable of beating whomever, whenever.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy, another big one from Gates. A 1-2-5?
Yeah, it seems to be a 1-2-5. And these guys are going to be battling out. And I mentioned this yesterday, but I really do mean it. Jim Widmeyer has been playing pretty great darts as of late. He's really kind of found his form. And I don't know if it's just the presidential status or something, but he's really been kind of hanging and banging, as you would put it.
That's a Willism right there for sure. Yep.
The first time you said it on the microphone, I think I cried a little.
You just said what, Will?
What? We can say that? Gates does tee up 36 there in a very kind fashion, and Jim a little bit on the outside looking in. Going to try to put some pressure on the what-if scenario here in case Gates doesn't hit.
Yeah, he's trying to set up the 36 as well, but 140 is nice, but 36 is better. Gates for the 1-0 advantage here. Yeah, going to happen.
Going to happen indeed, and binks it there in one dart. 13 dart leg to open things up for leg number one here, and Jim was not far behind, by the way, but that's why we talk about that 15 dart standard, and we will nail it over and over again, as that is what is of the utmost importance when watching these and trying to get your longevity to the tournament. That's the standard of what you want to reach. If you're at home and you're like, well, how good do I need to throw? That is what you need to throw if you want to potentially win. Here is try to get to that 15 dart standard. Easier said than done. Something that when I hit under 20 darts, I'm kind of like, oh man, it's a good day for me.
Yeah. I'm honestly a little bit surprised we didn't take that jump up in this stage to at least a race to 9, or not race to 9, but a best of 9. My apologies. We're still at a first to 4 leg battle here, so. Wid into the triple once again.
Yeah, scoring right now is looking incredible. Getting down to the 136, putting himself in great position to have the whole turn. You can see Scott Hanisch stepping up that mantle once again. So shout out because Hanisch did play a little bit as well, but he is tournament staff, so he is here working. And when the staff steps up and tries to help out when they can, it's really great to see. So normally I don't have nice things to say about Scott, but I feel like Facebook's doing all the hard work on making fun of him today for me.
Yeah, for sure. So just in regards, it's going to be best of 7 up until the semis. Semis are going to be best of 9, and then finals best of 11. So that's what we got for you here. I'm going to be honest, this is going to move fairly quick, and it already is moving fairly dang quick. So share this out to your friends. Let them know we're live for the DPFL Live Event here in Kissimmee, Florida, as Jim Widmeyer looking for the double six.
Does get it in there. And again, Gates was pressuring the throw right there. We're following that same standard, and these guys are throwing some incredible darts right now. And, people have, might know Jim now more so from the ADO being the president over there and stuff like that. But he's proven, hey, I've been Captain America and one of the North American greats for quite some time.
Yeah, as of course competing on the Lakeside stage numerous times. He's addicted to that, to be honest. That's why he keeps trying out for it. He craves to be on that stage again. Who wouldn't want to be?
Yeah, if you have the game to be there, I know I would be every single day. But, of course, those that can't do, commentate.
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I barely touch the darts anymore. I just don't have the time. Kiddo and life in general can take priority sometimes. Big 140 once again for Gates. Puts him right back into this and forces Wid to throw a ton plus here. And he had to hit that triple. He had to hit the last dart triple, and he doesn't succeed. So
it was a well-thrown dart, too. I mean, he's been knocking in so many. Both these guys are honestly on a 140 train so far in
look
this
at
one.
It, 108, 104.25. Of course they are. I mean, they're playing well here, and they're going to have to continue if they want to pull off the $6,000 prize fund.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of change. That pays for a lot there. But 76 is the look for Leonard Gates. Double top. Ooh. Double knot, as it doesn't go in. Jim Wood now at the 95 at the look. Again, one of these must-go shots.
And see, he went to attack the 19 routes. Then he'll go up top, and unfortunately unsuccessful. I was wondering if he's going to try the bull route or not. He elected not to.
Yeah, and he's a player that prefers 19s, as Leonard Gates does get this a third leg under his way here. Jim likes the 19s. It's kind of a characteristic of his game. So him going 95, starting at the 19s, makes total sense there, but unfortunately just did not go his way.
Definitely so. As we take a look at the side profile of these players here, you can see a good look at their throw and their release. Gates moved that slight head movement towards the front side of his throw. Of course, Jim.
You can see Jim actually doesn't have too much of a lean. He's standing almost completely vertical there, which is kind of hard to do because that means further distance your dart has to travel, more accurate your release point has to be. But he tends to find that release point with some success.
Definitely so. As Witt's going to try to gather in a ton, does so.
Yeah, and right now these guys are kind of having both facets of the game going for them, right? They're both scoring particularly well right now, but they're also not really wasting any time on the doubles. One or two darts at most. We haven't really seen too many missed opportunities with that, and in fact, this has just been quite the battle.
Was that a big one? I think it is. It is a big one, a maximum from Jim Widmeyer.
Gates just going to try to set himself up on a finish, which he does if the 66 does not go.
See how he goes about it. Trip
10.
Yeah, for sure.
Double 18.
That's unfortunate. He's going to give Leonard a look at this 105, and that's something you don't want to do because chances are Leonard's going to do something special. 5 for tops.
Gets a dart.
And not quite.
And not going his way, unfortunately, there. So Jim now needs a reset up. Gets 2 darts at this. And no one's ever missed.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Double 4.
Of course you say that. And hurt us.
Does not go. So now Leonard Gates with another opportunity. This is the first signs of real double trouble we have seen from the players, and wasting no time to go 3-1 up.
And Gates is going to take advantage of that. No harm. 8 times out of 10, he's going to take advantage of that. So here we go. Gates.
That's 80% of the time, by the way.
Yeah. 8 out of 10, 80%. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm glad you mathed for a little bit.
I do math. I don't know how to read, though.
Gates does get the start, and he opens with a nice 140. All he needs to do is hold here, and he will move into the quarterfinal stages of this DPFL championship, or into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I know. That is absolutely crazy to say out loud. And you can see how detrimental that last league was just for Jim Wood at the very end because you're about to go 2-2, and then all of a sudden 3-1, you're facing a match point, and you have to win out from here. To take 3 legs in a row off Leonard Gates is just a tall task, especially when you have to do it twice against the throw.
He's in there once again. This is his leg, and he's just messing around with it here.
Well, and again, look at Jim. He's throwing a 94 average. I believe it was last year. I mean, we saw Jim just, again, finding some great matches and some great games and then just going against something even greater at times. And that's right now what we're seeing from Leonard Gates is some greatness.
He's going to make the switch down to the 19s, and he's going to have to move now. He's thinking about it. 77 on the board. He does a straight math, goes 17 to leave 94. Good job. Leaves tops.
Isn't over yet, though, and Jim Wood's not going to show any signs of quitting. Does get himself to a finish. It's a hard one,
Yeah, this
but he might not even get a look at it.
This is over.
He won't. Leonard Gates does get that one there. And 4-1 in a match that honestly could have gone the full distance in a different timeline.
Look at this. 103.03 and 94.63. Folks, Leonard Gates is on form this weekend, which is dangerous for everybody in the room. And if I'm Jim Widmeyer, I can't even complain. I just shake the hand. Yep. Say good darts and walk away. He bested you this time.
Oh, and you see Leonard Gates, he is all smiles as well right now. He is very jovial. Normally when you see him get quiet, he's like trying to keep himself, again, in work mode and serious mode. But right now, he doesn't need to be because everything just feels that easy for him at the moment. And he's throwing some great stuff with it. I'm excited to see how his run continues. I'm excited to see who else is going to go on the run because so far we've been spoiled with some beautiful matches for this event.
Yeah, we're going to have another doozy coming your way in just a moment, folks. We're going to look at what we got for you. Don't go anywhere. This is your DPFL Championship live from Kissimmee, Florida. Brought to you by USA Darts. We'll be right back.
Kelly West up 3-2.
3-2. Love it. All righty. Come on, Callie. Come on, girl.
told you if we dance in the blizzard, we are not getting cold. So keep on dancing, baby. You if we dance in the blizzard, we are not getting cold. So keep on dancing, baby. Dance, 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 yeah, baby.
Welcome back to the DPFL Championship live in Kissimmee, Florida. I'm Sean Green, joined by Nick Dichiria, and we have a top 16 match for you. David Fathom lives in the Arizona area, taking on Gary Mawson, just a couple of former Canadians that are now Americans.
Well, I think before we get into the match fully, we need to address the allegation, Sean.
Yes.
Scott Hanisch is not afraid of dart stages anymore. He is not afraid. He is going to prove it by getting on there as many times as possible and not falling ever again.
Well, sometimes you got to get over your fears, and that's what he's doing by consistently being the chalker. He has to walk over that Aki every time, and I think he's just really trying to cement his place on the Hanisch stage.
Yeah, and right now he's eyes on the board. When he's walking, eyes on the floor.
Yep. Well, this one's going to be a good one, I can tell you that much. Gary Mawson has kind of been renewed here in the CDC season this year. Won event number 3 this season to get back in the winner's circle for the first time since 2018. And winning typically is contagious. Whereas you have David Fathom, who this is his first real big tournament since he took some time off.
4 months off almost.
4 months exactly from competitive play. Played last weekend and had a lot of success, but this is a completely different venue, completely different room, and he's going up against a completely different field. But so far, he's been great with it.
Yeah, he certainly has. And, we've talked about it before, and I guess it's worth mentioning again. Him taking his health first and trying to get in better shape, he also treats that as part of his training for darts, even if he wasn't actively playing as much.
1,000,000%.
It was about the idea, study sound mind, sound body, sound darts.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that mantra for me?
Sound mind, sound body, sound darts.
Yep.
You want to write it down, put it on a poster?
That's likely the right answer. Let's take a look here as you see Fathom on 70. Should get one dart. Will be at 32. And pins it. 15 darter here in leg number 1 for Fathom. Hold a throw, but it was a great start to this top 16 match.
And we saw it with Fathom in the cricket earlier, just from the stat sheet alone, where he kind of jumped out on top and hit these high-octane moments, but then randomly had some moments where he wasn't at the standard of which he would prefer. And it's about dialing in that consistency, because obviously he can play with the best of them and is one of the best of them when he is playing like that. It's about, for him, dialing in those moments in between there.
Yeah, if you're looking at the overall averages for this tournament between these two players, a 77 for Fathom, 75 for Mawson. So they're going to be about equal here. I will tell you that they're going to need to raise that up a lot, though, if they plan on winning this event, because you have Alex Spellman, whose first line average is a 116 currently, 3-dart average of 95. He just defeated Matt Campbell, with Campbell averaging 101.
That is a pretty
and
crazy.
It was 4-1. He only won one leg with 101 average.
That is disgusting darts there.
And I did tell Matt Campbell, I have never lost a match averaging 101. And he said, you can't even count to 101. And I said, fair.
Yeah, that is true. Sean definitively cannot count.
Yep. We all know that. If you have listened to more than one stream from USA Darts that has had me on here. You understand that.
Mawson trying to get himself to a finish here, but that first dart makes it tricky, and now not even going to go. He does correct on that last one to keep himself in the running, but now Fathom having a potential chance to gain control here.
I like how you said the first start was made it tricky. First start made it impossible.
That's real tricky when it's impossible.
You needed 4 darts for that one. 95 from Fathom, so Mawson still with the advantage. Not anymore if he cannot get to a finish here. That's a great second dart. He'll take it.
Yeah, and he's going to have to, right? I mean,
Can't give it back.
You can't give it back, but Fathom really wants to set himself up in a keen position here. If he can get 2-0 up on the jump early here, Mawson's going to be feeling that pressure. But that's not the setup round he really had in mind. 140 the look for Mawson.
And not going to do that.
Now, you're well more familiar. Not that I'm not familiar with Gary Mawson, but I don't actively watch him the stuff from the perspective of what you do.
Absolutely.
As his darts, I mean, normally they're a little
different.
bit wayward, right? For some of them, but then or they're exactly dead on where he wanted. It seems. Is that normal?
Fathom almost at the 130. But I would say that his darts are laying flatter in the board than I've seen. Like, for some reason, that's just not something I remember his darts being that flat. So I think that there might be a little bit into that you're talking about. At the same time, Mawson he's the mauler.
Mm-hmm.
He's a grinder on the dartboard, meaning like it's going to be 1 dart, double 4, but nobody misses double 4. Ooh, that was snatchy. Meaning that he'll win those dirty, ugly matches because he's very good at his doubling, at his finishing. It's his mainstay, as you see it right there, double 8. He'll take advantage of every miss from his opponent and not look back. That's former UK Open finalist. I mean, he's been around this for a long time. And like I said, these are the 2 players in the room that are moved from Canada to the U.S. That either makes them really smart or really stupid. And
We'll go with really smart.
50% of the country, or 50% of North America will say one thing, and 50% of North America will say the other. And both are right, depending on the day.
Yeah, right. Depending on the day, indeed, there. But
the good news, they both moved to really warm weather places. It's not like they moved to like Minnesota,
well,
which is basically Canada adjacent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're moving to Minnesota from Canada, then you're basically just like, yeah, I would like to switch from vanilla ice cream to vanilla bean, please.
Yeah, that's like saying you're American, but you're from Buffalo. Like, you're really just Canadian.
Yeah, no, just own it at that point. As we get that one owned right there, 180.
Great call, Nick. Broadcast school is getting better and better. You're still attending classes, right?
Yeah, I need to, clearly.
That's okay.
Speaking of attending classes, the classes of 20s right now that we're looking at from Mawson. Sorry, guys.
Speaking of the mauler, I'm about to maul you. Fathom back on 279. Trying to leave a finish. Needs another treble. Not going to do that there.
Yeah, the throw's now getting challenged by Mawson.
Yeah, and this is a break a throw potential. He has 6 darts from 151. After 9, he was on 151, so definitely scoring a lot better in this one. The 180 helps, typically.
I've never seen a 180 that really hurts. Very few, unless it busts.
Unless it's Scott Hanish.
Unless it's Scott. Actually, that would be a great
Then that's
example
physical pain.
of a 180 that hurt. Yes.
Big 174.
As
broadcast
broadcast school paying off for you there over there, Sean?
No, apparently it's contagious. Tops for Mawson and steals the throw. 2-1 lead now for Gary Mawson.
Yeah, that's a huge break here.
It's early, but he's going to do-si-do. Chance to make it 3-1 with the throw.
Yeah, I mean, you saw with Fathom, though. I mean, that first leg he came out here was electric, and then it was just a little bit of a taper for him. And, of course, you don't expect to be in the hundreds forever, but it's one of those things where you want to be in the hundreds forever.
Looking around the venue. Norman Madu, John Brown. Stormin' Norman's up 3-2 against the former PDC tour card holder. Alex Spellman up 2-1 on Brian Garland. Brad Farley up 1-0 over Paul Tierney. Jean Van Vleen averaging 115.61 after 3 legs.
I'm sorry,
is up
how much?
3-0 on Kevin Hawkins. He's averaging a 115.61.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting stuff. I am throwing up in my mouth.
Ew. And John Van Vleen averages 111 in that victory over Kevin Hawkins. 111 is his final average in that match.
Yeah,
And it's
stifling.
because he had a terrible 15 darter in the last leg.
Yeah, very pedestrian of him, if anything. And you can see Fathom right now kind of finding himself in a very tough spot against the darts. Mawson on a little bit of a breakaway here. More than likely going to be the first one at a finish, and is the first one at a finish there.
Leonard Gates defeated Jim Widmeyer 4-1, averaging 103.
That's true. We saw that one.
So
It was a great one.
a lot of I saw it too from the field. You guys did a great call on that one. Must be nice.
Thank you. It was great.
4-2 victory for Storm and Norman Maddu over John Brown. So John Brown is out. So top 16 starting to turn into a top 8.
Which is what
We've got
happens after
3
the top
players
16.
so far. Leonard Gates, Norman Maddu, Jean Van Vleen, Mawson on 65 with Fathom all the way back on 196. It's not looking impressive here, but Mawson needs to clean it up. This is a hole to throw to make it 3-1. Race to 4. He's going the 11 route. Tops for 3-1. Drags it inside, so Fathom an outside look here. Not outside look, 2-darter opportunity for 96. This to break right back. Get back on throw. Gonna have to go double-double. He stayed there on the treble. I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind the stay there at all, but
His starts are flat, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you see the frustration from his face on that one. He knows the importance of trying to get that check out there, especially for break a throw to try to break back. It looks like Mawson does sink that one in there in a 3-1 fashion.
Breaker to make it 3-1 over Fathom.
Yeah, that was a back breaker there.
Oh my God. Kill me. Just end my life.
Just tell me you want Keegan Brown back. Just say it. Just say it.
If you're gonna do that, then yeah. I love you. Gary Mawson getting started here in this leg number 5. This is the DPFL Championship. Mr. Nick Dichiria, $6,000 to first place, and that's a 180 from the Mauler.
Mawson with all the momentum at the current moment. I mean, really neck and neck there at the beginning. And Fathom is throwing incredible as well, by the way, 140 there. He's averaging in the mid-80s right now. I mean, this is a good standard of match for both these players. But at the end of the day, right now, Mawson just kind of just finding those moments, those opportunities, and then hitting those crucial doubles at the tail end of the legs.
Yeah, a scary Gary Mawson is a Gary Mawson that is scoring well, too. And this first 9 average from him in this match is going to be hefty. And that's going to be kind of the difference maker here. Look at this. So just going to try and tee it up from 181. Going to do that nicely.
Yeah, I think that
Beautiful
will suffice.
131. Leaves 50. See if he just shoots the bull. For a 10-darter, he should shoot the bull.
And Fathom doesn't even leave
Yeah,
a
because
finish
Fathom's
here.
not on a finish. This is going to go bullseye.
6 clear for Mawson for the match.
And he
Does
pins
get
the
it in
10-darter.
there.
Gary Mawson with a 10 to win the match 4-1. And that's going to be disappointing for Fathom at the end of the day, but there's nothing you can do about a 10-darter there.
Nope. Not much you can do there. But that was a great match. Great standard from all around. Of course, shout out to our shocker once again. We're excited because that top 16 is just about wrapping up over here. We got some great matches coming your way. And our quarterfinals, though, will be coming up soon as I believe, yeah, it looks like everything in the top 16 is currently playing there. So we will be getting the next match here pretty soon. Sir. Currently in that quarterfinals, Gary Mawson, Leonard Gates, Norman Maddu, and Gian Van Veen.
So we're just going to take a quick break, guys, and we'll be right back with the DPFL Championship. More action right after this. Welcome back to the DPFL Championship live in Kissimmee, Florida. Sean Green, Nick Dichiria. Nick, we got a good one. John Shaman is taking on Harrison Carter. John Shaman, a.k.a. Mini-Me. From South Carolina.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this. This should be a good match.
Hi.
Sorry about that there. No, this should be a good matchup here. I'm excited for it. And on top of that, I'm particularly excited just because we got a little bonus of the top 16 here, right? We're about to go to the last 8. Saw this one was available, and it's cool to get some different representation on our board here. Admittedly, not as familiar with John.
From Aiken, South Carolina.
Okay.
He also exits the board to the left, so we'll have to make sure that doesn't happen. He does a little flippy flip, too, with his darts. That was nice. And his ponytail is immaculate. Those are things that I know.
Those are very good things to know.
A good throw, it reminds me so much of someone. I'm trying to think who.
So to let you guys know our game plan for what is coming up next here after this matchup. We got 2 quarters, 2 semis, and then, of course, the final here. So 5 matches after this one to show off. I'm excited, and all 5 of them are going to be phenomenal. This one, our bonus 6, is going to be even better.
Yeah, Harrison Carter's dad is also a very good dart player, but Harrison's trying to get in there on his own. It's good to see him having success in this tournament. Last 16, they are getting through this field.
You can see Carter's reaction there to that first start, and then the second one just follows it right there, kind of just dropping low, maybe releasing a little bit earlier than normal there, all kind of find the same area.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit with his throw, and he'll be the first one to kind of tell you that. And you can almost see it, right? It's not as natural of a motion as you're seeing from John. Again, I'm trying to think, whose throw does that look like? Like, it's almost textbook, exactly the same as someone else I'm thinking about, and I cannot remember. And for the love of God, Scott Hanish, will you tell John to exit to the right? You have one job as official. You have 2 jobs as official, not fall, and then to officiate the players.
Yeah, you know.
All right, 3 jobs. You also have to count.
It is a little tricky with to jump in and volunteer to chalk and everything like that. It's not the same as having a dedicated referee like you will see.
He has been the dedicated referee.
Yeah, but that was not the initial plan that we drew up on the chalkboard there.
Well, whatever.
Well, whatever indeed.
Coming into this, Harrison Carter is averaging, I'll start with John. John Shaman's averaging a 71, almost a 72, and Carter's a 66. So definitely going to want to bring up that average for both players. And so far, they're scoring pretty decently.
Yeah, the 1-2-5 will absolutely help there. It does get him the first look at an out. Granted, 1-5-6, John's going to try to put a lot of pressure on this with the setup here.
He's got to assume in this moment that he'll be back.
Yeah, but he also wants to make sure that this starts kind of going well high. He needs to make sure they're getting a little bit more sorted here for this one.
Yeah, only 60.
Helps, but not enough.
Yeah,
potentially.
That wasn't as good as he was wanting to do there. So Carter might have 6 from 156, but it's not guaranteed. But he'll need it now. That first start. It's never fun when you're looking at the treble 20 and you go real high on the single 1. I do it every time I shoot at the treble 20, and I can tell you that's why I'm a commentator. So if he keeps doing that move, he has a future in broadcasting. Treble 20 needed, not going to hit. So Carter's going to come back, but it's a 119. He has to start on the 19 here. He'll know that. Again, his dad, also a very renowned steel tip dart player. So I guarantee you his counting's pretty perfect.
Yeah, and that goes a long way with helping out with the superlatives of the game, just making sure that your mascot gives you that confidence.
For the 119. Big checkout from Harrison Carter. What a huge hit from him. He breaks the throw and takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, amazing stuff there. And that's a huge, huge moment. Oh, my goodness. Harrison Carter just kind of surprised us with that one, huh?
Yeah.
Surprises the timing of it all, by the way, not from the ability. Of course, has the ability. So John here just going to try to shake off that last leg, not really think about how it wrapped up at the tail end, and see what he can do with this one.
This one, a little battle of the South. We got Georgia taking on South Carolina. Last 16. The winner of this one will get somebody.
Probably in this tournament, too.
You know, ideally, that'd be the case.
I don't know if that would be considered ideally, because I want to be honest, a lot of these guys are tough. If I got some guy that wasn't here, I'd be like, all right, that's probably better. Or
Well,
girl.
It's like a break. Yeah, especially because of who they'd play. The winner of this one gets, I don't know, 22-year-old. He averaged 111 last match. His name's John Van Veen.
Heard of him.
Netherlands.
Heard of him.
Currently the 31st ranked player in the world in darts.
Like this world, like Earth, the planet Earth.
The whole planet Earth.
Incredible. Incredible.
Like right now, he has a bye in the first round of the World Darts Championship. That's how high up in the rankings he is.
I've never had a bye in the World Championships. Never been to the World Championships.
I have.
You have, but
Definitely
not as a player.
Not as a player.
Not as a player.
Also, I had a lot of people trying to say bye to me, so it's almost like having a bye in there. They didn't want to talk to me.
You didn't
for
get the
some
hint,
reason.
obviously.
Nope, I'm still here.
I've never seen Keegan Brown run so fast, other than to get away from you at the very end here.
Yeah, you can say that, but he stayed for 3 matches. Gary Mawson is awaiting the winner of Jermaine Wadamina and Levi Cransel. Leonard Gates is waiting on the winner of Brad Farley, Paul Tierney. Norman Madu, Alex Spellman. And then, of course, what we just mentioned, the winner of this one gets Gian Van Vleen, which is a wonderful consolation prize for the loser to watch the winner play that next match.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, these players are going to have that mindset, that expectation that it's going to be tough. That's going to be a hard-fought battle. There's no easy matches. There wasn't really any to begin with, but especially at this point on.
Yeah, let's update. Let's update you on something pretty impressive that's going on right now. Jermaine Wadamina, Levi Cransel, it's a 3-3 scoreline in a race to 4. Cransel's averaging 94.5. Wadamina 104.7.
Also important to note, Cransel survived 3 match darts from Cali West, by the way. At least 3 match darts from Cali West. So she was up 3-2 in that one, and then he came back to win it there.
Great setup shot from Shaman. But Carter, 74 left. Treble, 14 for 32. And that's a great thing to mention because whoever's going to win this tournament and that $6,000 first prize, oh, no, that's not what he wanted to do. 33 leaves 41.
So 9 for double 16, more likely going to be the look here. Just confirming with the chalker here.
Doing some math. It is 43 left, by the way. No, it's not. 41.
It is 41. You said it right the first time.
I just believed Harrison for.
Stick to teaching English. It's okay. Oh,
And
and
he
not
missed
even
the
going to
big
get
number.
a look. And the dart from the falling from the trip 14 to the trip 11 is something that happens, but you can't miss the big single there. That's the pressure of the moment, and also the pressure of knowing that he's struggling with his form a little bit there, kind of showing through.
Well, he took out a 119 in the last leg, so it's only right that he re-gifts back to John. Tops for a 1-1 scoreline and to break the throw right on back. Kind of dropped his elbow there on that first dart. That's not going to help him. Yeah, and just way out. And Carter, reprieve. Let's take a 2-0 lead. He was not expecting to have this opportunity, but you can see he's ready to handle it.
He has to. You don't get an option. Hit it.
Well, that left a lot to be desired, but double 6. Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Madhouse.
Taking that extra moment. You have to recompose.
Madhouse.
One more time. Madhouse?
Madhouse.
Is that what's happening? Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure.
Doesn't hit it. Gates is sleeping. And
as per usual.
Here's Shaman. Double 10. Double 7.
A little bit of a trickier shot here.
It's the red bit that's covered. There at the bottom left-hand corner.
He's going to play this one aggressive. Too aggressive.
Well, especially because the second one was not even close to aggressive.
Yeah, and with your opponent sitting, you have to play a little bit of a hot shot there, right, and go right at it.
Unfortunately, Carter went outside on dart 3, so he's left himself 2. Not ideal. but that's an ideal
Great
marker.
marker. Just follow that dart in.
Yeah, he just did not
Well
put
thrown.
enough oomph to kiss it off the right way. So Shaman back for 20 again. And to update you on the results, Wadamina does get it done in that last leg decider. 4-3 victory. Double 5. Double trouble here in leg number 2. But that is now the third player to average over a ton in the top 16 in a victory.
Yeah, and that's going to be a recurring theme for the rest of the event, you would have to imagine. And ideally, I mean, I would hope for as many ton pluses as possible. On the other hand here, I mean, right now you're seeing kind of a journeyman's battle in the sense that these guys are both trying to figure out, hey, how can we get dialed in with this leg? How can we get dialed in with this game? Because they know no matter what happens right now, the game that they're putting up is not enough to win the whole thing. And you can't be thinking about all that. You have to be thinking, how do I get out of this situation here? Because it doesn't matter what happens in future rounds if you don't get through this one.
Again, those are not close enough to double to really help him. He has a lot of fancy dart tricks, but just like me with shuffling chips, poker chips in poker, that does not make me a good poker player in that regard. And right now, he's just not attacking enough. And
Giving us the stuff.
that was
there a little bit.
amazing double fist pump to get us to leg number 2. And that's, again, one of those things where both players are just fine with that one being over. And it's almost like, thank God. Let's move on to the next. I want to go back to the trebles and scoring. You see that side profile view. It's absolutely perfect. His take back is smooth. It is a much longer take back than most, but for me, that's how I take back the throw. Carter has a little bit of a lean when he goes forward in there, and his is more of a shove forward, right? The backswing is almost non-existent. Two completely different throws.
Yeah, you know, one of the players I always like to reference as for someone that doesn't have really any drawback and is almost exclusively follow through. Ethan DeVera is one of those guys where, I mean, you're really just kind of actuating your whole arm and just really committing to it there. And that's hard to do consistently, to be able to get that snap on the dart without having any drawback. It just doesn't feel very natural on your muscles. It's not how throwing typically would work.
Yep.
But it also, if you can do that consistently, that's great, because you don't have to worry about if I'm drawing back too far, if I'm pointing my dart up when I'm drawing back, and all those other idiosyncrasies that go into something like that.
That is a really good point, Josh.
Thanks.
Shaman on 350 trying to hit a 180 to leave 170. Oh, not going to do it there.
I was going to call you Drake, but I figured you're more of a Megan from that show.
All Megans are awesome, so I'll take it.
Gets paid $5 by his wife to say that every time.
Nope. You don't get paid for what you're required to do.
Be nice to your wife? Is that a requirement?
For me, it's I better be a great husband.
Well, Harrison here definitely struggling early on in this leg. He is 2-0 up. He's in great position in the match-wise, but in the given moment, you can tell that just the darts aren't feeling quite right, and that's a very frustrating thing to have happen to you. And it's also a little bit contagious. Both these guys are kind of following in suit with similar strides, not really finding a breakaway, not really finding that dominant performance that both of them are capable of doing if they really wanted to.
Again, the winner of this match has a tough task ahead with the 22-year-old Gian Van Vleen waiting for him. This is the DPFL Championship, and that's a great setup play. There was no reason to shoot at the 180 to leave 10. In fact, we would have yelled at him for doing so.
Would have been cool. That's a good reason right there.
Yeah, and here's one of those situations where now the debate on the 305, the new age thought process here is to not go the 18 route. Because if you go the 18 route, you're expecting to miss that first dart, and if you don't and you hit the treble 18, now you have to hit 2 more trebles. Whereas if you start on the 20s, now you're expecting to hit the first 2 darts, and then you just have to throw a 25 or a bullseye to leave a finish.
Yeah, that's some great insights there, Sean.
Thank you. Tops for Shaman for a 2-1 score line. This will be a hole to throw and just kind of settle him in, and that was a flyer on dart 3. However, he will return, but if you're Carter, and with the way Shaman's been throwing at his double so far, Put pressure.
Yeah, you're absolutely still in this leg. Until one of those players is really consistently finding those checkouts with ease, you're going to have to just kind of keep that mindset.
Does not put pressure on at all.
No, and you can see he's very frustrated by that.
As honestly he should be, because he had an opportunity there to put pressure on. You can see that there from him. So he every right to be upset, especially if this does not go, because now you didn't even give yourself that opportunity, and it doesn't go. But he's going to come back with 10 because Carter's on 173.
And the question is how much is he going to bring it down? Obviously, the consistency in the scoring has left some to be desired, if we're being entirely honest. And he's going to say that himself. He needs to try to attack this a little bit. We've seen enough double trouble. He's still in the leg, and you have to just kind of, despite the frustrations, get through in any way you can.
And I'm just going to say it. It becomes a capability when you're struggling with your form kind of wears down a little bit more. He's going to split it. Double 4.
Yeah, I don't agree with splitting halfway through the shot.
I saw that happen at a CDC event by one of the top players a couple weeks ago. I forget who it was, but it paid out for him. However, I agree with you. If you're going to split, just split on dart 1.
Well, it's not even a pot committed type mentality. It's just one of those things where it's almost like hurting your own confidence when you do something like that. You're already attacking the number. And honestly, it wasn't even a bad attempt at the double 5. It was in the right ballpark. So to split there, it just, again, it's almost like a stride breaker.
Great setup play there from Carter. 94 scored. Leaves 22. Just to put some pressure on, just in case.
Going to try to work it in there.
And until Shaman proves they can hit the double, Carter's just got to keep expecting him to miss.
Yeah, Carter would be really ecstatic to get a 3-0 jump, especially given the situation and the numbers right here.
He'll apologize when he hits this, but he won't mean it. Decides to split. Leaves double 4. And pins double 4. That's where the split works out nicely, Nick.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again,
And see the apologize. he was like, oh, I'm sorry. But he doesn't mean it. I want to let everybody know that ahead of time.
Well, he has a chance to hold his throw. And there, again, he was really on the outside looking in and was able to somehow get back into the league. Just because John was just not finding those doubles the way he would like, he knows that he doesn't want to win like that. He wants to try to win it here. He wants to try to win it through his own merit, through his own scoring, and not through favors of the opponent.
Well, certainly, but you're also going to just be like, thank you, and you're going to walk away.
No, absolutely.
You know how sometimes you go out to dinner with friends and you decide not to go Dutch ahead of time, which means
Yeah, can you tell me
yeah,
what that
so
one means?
go Dutch means to agree ahead of time that you just pay for what you eat, right? So you're not responsible for a split check all the way around or even someone fighting over paying for the whole thing. Takes that stress of that the bills coming out
That makes
into
sense.
account.
So that's going Dutch.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
So that being said, I have no idea where I was going with this conversation at all.
No, that was great. Sometimes you just start a sentence and just don't even know where it's going to go.
You just hope you find it along the way.
And this time we didn't. 140 there did get found from John. So trying to get himself back in line here. Carter at 322. Finds the trip 20. Is he going to switch to the 18s?
No. $120 scored, still on 2-8. Does not matter if he switches to the 18s. 180
I
is
was
the only
thinking
way
of
to.
302.
180 leaves a checkout.
Nope, yep, I realized what I said was a mistake. I would
Oh.
like to retract my previous comments.
To the first of a minute. Great first start from Shaman. See if he switches to the 18s.
Does find the 125 there, so solid scoring visit to answer solid scoring visit here. Harrison Carter still out in front and wants to try to set himself up on a good checkout here. We'll be honest with the way the match has been going. The most opportunities that you can get yourself at the double is going to be crucial here, right? It's not a give me on the first start for either one of these guys at the moment. So if I can get an extra 3, 6, 27 darts at a double, I'll take it.
Here. 44 scored, and 7 years ago. He left himself 161, but Carter, 151. Math. And Harrison Carter has 148 left. He's already taken out a 119. Not going to take out the 148. Trying to go treble 18 for tops. I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with the approach there.
All right. Shaman has missed so many doubles in this match, right? But darts is a funny sport where then all of a sudden a 151 goes in.
And this is a good start to it.
Oh. If he hits that triple 17, I guarantee you that last dart goes
It
in.
would have been like my top 5 favorite Sean Green calls after the one from
Fair.
this morning.
Fair. No, that might be my favorite combination call
That was a good balancing act.
for a little moment in time of let's be honest, viral history.
Yeah.
This gentleman right here who's chalking the most popular and well-known player in North America currently.
For our audio listeners, Sean pointed at the screen.
I said for a chalker right here. So there's only one chalker. But you're right.
Doesn't go. And that first start was just, I mean, I would imagine he was going the 18th drop. But I think we can, again, need to maximize your doubles. He probably should have considered just doing a 21st approach there. Going to be
21
questionable.
scored.
Going to be questionable.
43 left. Oh. Now 34 left, so double 17, which, listen, might as well.
Anything's possible
Yeah.
when you're in Kissimmee, Florida. Off the margins there. 50 is the look for Harrison. He wants this to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shaman's doubling has been that of a match of a former phenom about a year ago that maybe got him in trouble.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is definitely a hairy moment here.
Wow.
Oh, wasn't intentional, but there we go. 34 gets another chance here. Will it go? It does.
Pins the double 17, and Carter's like, really? You missed everything else. And you hit this one.
Well, don't call it a comeback.
Kevin Luke getting in the chat saying he had to play Jean Van Vleen in the first round. Congratulations to Kevin for getting that draw. He said he averaged 92 and lost 4-1.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
And that wasn't even with him averaging 111. Leonard Gates, Brad Farley getting ready to get started in the top 8. There should be some other top 8 matches currently getting started. There are board calls. So let's get you a live look at this battle. Jermaine Wadamina, Gary Mawson will be the next match on our stream. Brad Farley, Leonard Gates, Norman Madu, Alex Spellman. Those two matches are currently going on. And then again, John Van Vleen is waiting on the winner of this one.
Yeah, any one of those matches sounds amazing, and I'm glad to be getting some coverage of those as we will begin looking at 2 quarterfinal matches, 2 semis, and 1 final is going to be our game plan here on the stream side of the coverage.
We're going to get 1 quarterfinal, and we're going to get at least 1 semifinal.
What I said is subject to change, of course,
And it has
at discretion of the tournament staff.
No, I just made that decision myself. .40 scored, and 7 years ago, John Shaman trying to make the comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
Well, yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
But if it does happen, then you know what to call it.
Not a comeback.
Well, it depends.
I'm telling you, he's going to need to teach me how to flip the dart like that.
Yeah, he does it pretty convincing, like.
And he actually, he risks stabbing himself. DJ Sayre is notorious for the dart spin and flip, but he rotates it around. It looks like it flips up and down, but it's a round rotation, so he never actually has to worry about stabbing himself.
Right. Hey, if you're going to do it, you might as well commit.
Exactly.
That's it. I respect it.
If you can't bleed a little bit just by a random something that he's not even probably thinking about before he shoots the darts, then, what's it for?
Yeah, winning by blood, sweat, and tears the literal way.
Unfortunately, missing the big segment there, trying to go for the bull, was Harrison Carter. So 181 for Shaman after 12. The scoring power is getting a lot better.
Yeah, you can tell that they're starting to get a little bit more settled, a little bit more comfortable. But
And to be honest, if they're finishing anywhere near where they typically probably would, the 65 and 64 average would not be
exactly,
close to, right.
and that's what I was alluding to there, is that this is not their typical form from what we can expect.
65 left, 25?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
And that's what Harrison does. Sets it up beautifully. Will he get a look, or will Shaman continue this run of legs one? This 129 needs to go. Carter is he did almost like a triple fist pump there.
Yeah,
He's going to get a look. Bullseye. Right? No. Okay. That doesn't make sense.
Carter for the match. Going to try to walk it in there.
That's not a terrible marker. See, because it kissed off the dart and went actually further. Double 10.
Oh, and it pulls down there. Right on the wire, hugging it millimeters away. John wants to make sure he just makes himself have a different fate here than the one we just saw for Carter's last three.
And he pins double 10. Shaman has had many leg winning darts and had missed them all up until the past two legs. Now a little bit of momentum. This match is starting to shift in favor of the man with way more hair.
Well, it's not a contest of hair. It's a contest of grit, of tenacity.
I'm allowed to say this. I have the least amount of hair of the three of us sitting back here.
That is
no
true.
matter how good my haircut looks.
That is true. And I don't expect the results of that to ever change unless I keep dyeing my hair this much. Then maybe it might.
You know what I used to do back in the day? Dye my hair. So good luck. Although, guess what?
What?
Frosted Tips is definitely making a comeback.
Is it making a comeback?
Yeah, unfortunately. In a fortunate way.
Fortunate, unfortunate, it is making a comeback. Carter here trying to find the red bed there. Does not get it. And just trying to take advantage of his throw here. Nothing fancy really needed. These guys are picking it up by every sense of that word. But at the same time, they want to do a little bit more. And you start pushing those darts. You start forcing some stuff. And you start getting frustrated when they're not going your way. Okay, sneak another one in there. How about 100 there for John?
And the top 16, where these guys are, guess what?
What?
They were getting paid.
Money?
So they've made $150 so far, $200 total with the $50 entry fee. However, the difference between this and making a top 8 is a $300 difference. So you get $500 versus the $200 just by winning this match. And it's just going to continue to rise in what is going on from there. If you make top 4, it's $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. If you make the final, you are guaranteed at least $3,000 going for $6K.
That is a pretty sweet deal.
That's
right
a
there.
massive, massive pot for a one-night steel tip event in North America.
I mean, a massive pot is honestly an understatement. I haven't seen a pot like that since I was in Vegas for an event.
We heard Keegan Brown talking earlier with us that this is one of the most talented rooms he's played in across the board, like from a day tournament, right? First time here at the DPFL, and I definitely overheard him asking tournament director Tim Way if he plays on the weekly DPFL next year, don't you dare. Will he be qualified for that DPFL championship automatically? Because he did not qualify yesterday. And he goes, yep. He goes, okay. Because he is planning on coming back again next year automatically.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. I mean, I love seeing the return players from the overseas, and I also love seeing the new ones. I mean, of course, we get different contingents. Like this year, it is a lot of our Dutch players. Last year, we had a big South African contingent as well. And I'm looking forward to see what the future holds as well for what other European players make the trek. Maybe even we get some PDC Asia players as well would be cool. I mean,
that would be really cool.
Anything is possible. When you throw, you know, DPFL darts.
DPFL DPFL.com if you're looking for information on how to get involved.
Absolutely.
It just continues to grow. DPFLdarts.com. Don't go to DPFL.com. I do not know where that sends you to.
Oh, Sean.
And
Carter
I
here.
really hope that it's nothing bad.
Oh, look at this.
Treble
First
17?
one finds.
32 for a 1-4-3 and the match just a bit inside. But he will return for double 8 with his opponent back on 196.
Yeah, and John needs to take advantage of this moment here. He needs to try to find something to pressure the 16 because this has been a match filled with pressure that's self-inflicted from performance and the pressure that is externally inflicted from these players as well.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say?
Dum 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 dum. Under pressure.
By Queen.
Yep. All right. So anyway, double 8 for the match for Harrison Carter, and a $300 bonus. Remember, Carter played in the amateur event yesterday.
Which was a 65 and under event.
Yep.
As well.
So he's definitely performed very well. Unable to get it done. So the 151 now left for Shaman. He already hit the first dart of the 151 earlier. Can he hit the second and then maybe the third?
He would prefer that to be the case.
Ideally. You're correct.
So we'll see how it shapes up this time.
There's the first.
We've seen this episode before. Will it change?
Nope.
No.
Same old. Just a rerun.
Just a rerun. But now Carter is under pressure. The 16 needs to go.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say?
Dum 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 dum. Double 8. And pins the double 8. Harrison Carter, quarterfinalist here, will take on Gian Van Vleen. Congratulations.
Yeah, right there is your prize. And we got a great one coming up next for us on our stream board. I'm excited to see some more great darts here and see some more great action from all these different players.
Yeah, it's going to be a question of scoring power versus great finishing.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that the scoring power can also finish very well. So we'll see what can happen. The average difference between the last match between these two players that are playing, Gary Mawson and Jermaine Wadamita, 100.85 for Jermaine Wadamita versus a 90 for Mawson. So it can be tough, but it can be done.
Anything is possible, and we're excited to be bringing you that match here in just a moment's time, folks. So don't go too far. Don't go away. Give us a like. Give us a share. We'll be back with some more great darts in just a moment's time.
And we'll be back with more great darts in whatever time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DPFL Championship. Live here in Kissimmee, Florida. This is the main event of the entire tournament weekend. $6,000 for first place, $3,000 per second. You make top four, $1,000. So money doubles with a win here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right, though.
I ran back here, so I was out of breath.
There is a lot of pressure, and it's not like these guys are necessarily considering the money aspect of it, but I think the pressure of just knowing how tough everything is from here on out and how tough everything has been up to this point. I mean, the pressure really is on, you mentioned Keegan talking about how tough this haul is, and coming from a player like that, that means that a lot of these guys are probably thinking very similar things.
That's
a huge
compliment, honestly, is the way that I would take that times 10. Now, he doesn't mean including the PDC tour that he plays every other week. That's for sure. But I think besides that, which, again, still is a major accomplishment.
Certainly. The PDC tour, of course, going to be the best of the best. Is going to be the toughest to play on in general. Do want to give a shout-out to them again for letting us have these players on our stream. Doesn't mean a lot to us, and it means a lot to the players here in North America as well. It's huge opportunities for us and for the players alike.
I love the spectator that is just so close to that stage. That's a 180 from Jermaine Wadamina. Leaves the 140 after 9.
Hey,
she's like leaning on the table that's on the stage.
I love it.
That's
I love
impressive.
it. She's invested. She's here to have fun.
Look, sometimes your eyesight's bad, right? So you better get close enough to see that.
140's a look here.
Not going to take it. Mawson's going to get a look at the 111 kind of in a sneaky way.
Yeah, it would feel like a break almost when it is a hold, and not just because of the standard. These guys are scoring particularly well at the start here.
Treble 17. Tops for the 111. Gary Mawson.
What a shot this would be. What a shot it would have been.
Will he come back? Wadamina to clean it up. Gets it done in 14. And that's a 1-0 scoreline for the man from the Netherlands.
And he's just going to go ahead and go off to the races here in leg number 2. Not going to waste any time. I mean, this is all business for both of these guys right here. And Wadamina does like a little bit of a faster sense of play. And Mawson, nice, cool, calculated, but not slow pace of play by any means here. I think that the increase of speed will actually potentially either benefit or severely detriment Mawson in that sense.
Well, yep, those are the opposites of each other. So
yeah.
Nicely done. I do like to point out, though, with the pace of play, that Jermaine Wadamina has slowed down so much in his throw that they're both playing with almost the same speed on releasing those 3 darts. Jermaine's still faster, of course, but it's definitely more comparable. He's not way faster than his opponent every time.
No, certainly. And you'll see that with certain players. That they'll start increasing that pace of play or they'll start decreasing it over time. And typically, you'll see like Danny Lobby's one of those guys that has yeah, exactly.
Yep. And trying to better, and he does a 12 darter in leg number 2. You kind of expected Jermaine and Jean and these players that are playing in this event that qualified for it yesterday to be kind of at the top of their game right now. It's going to take a lot to beat these PDC pros. These are the moments where their A game is better than most other players' A games, and they have to play at their A game so often that it's almost on call for them when they need it. And if you're Jermaine Wadamina, $6,000 is a good reason to call your A game.
Well, and the other thing that brings out A game is iron sharpening iron, right? These guys are constantly going against tough opponents today and this weekend and will continue to go against tough opponents. It is forcing everybody to play up. There's a reason why we've seen so many 10-plus matches. There's a reason why we've seen some insane averages lose out. That's what comes with it, is the fact that people are playing the best of the best, and it's phenomenal to see.
We've had 4 10-plus ending averages so far. 3 in the top 16. Those were 3 winners in Jermaine Wadamina, Leonard Gates, and Gian Van Vleen with his 111 leading the way. The other one was loser Matt Campbell with a 1 and 1.5. And I'm not calling him a loser. I'm just saying he lost to Alex Spellman 4-1, averaging 101. Those are the 4 so far. We look around the venue. Spellman up 3-1 on Storm and Norman Madu, averaging 89 in that, and Gian Van Vleen, Harrison Carter just getting underway.
Yeah, and Wadimina right here in pole position to get a 3-0 advantage. 107 will be the look, and Mawson with a 28 there means that the 6 darts for this. Oh, you
That
almost
would've been
expected it
another
to go.
15, another ton plus. Mawson still back on 207 is going to kick himself here because if his scoring was anywhere where it was in the first 2 legs, he has a shot at the finish. Now, Wadimina for a 3-0 lead and driver's seat to win this 4-0.
Yeah, and that's a great position to be in.
Whoops.
Obviously, not happy and definitely not happy with that
Whoopee
last
zoo.
dart. And this is the moment where, all of a sudden that script that we just laid out might change a little bit. Mawson would like to flip it here.
Going to start on the 20s.
He's going to get a dart.
Yes, he will, and it will be on 32. Never mind, tops for
It
Mawson.
will not be on 32. Oh.
Again, dragged just below the wire. He is 2 wires away from this thing being a 2-1 lead for Mawson. But instead,
You'll still get
he has a chance to make it 2-1.
Yeah. Wadimina not happy with how those last couple darts have been going for him there, and it's kind of the regression that comes with the fact that you're playing above the typical affair there. Staying in the hundreds, of course, regressing just a little bit here. Opportunity handed back over, needs to be capitalized on, and
It
it
does,
is.
Yeah. You can only gift a PDC Pro so many opportunities at doubles before they're just going to say thank you.
Thank you, and come again.
Look at that side profile shot from Jermaine. Nice and steady. The lower half is completely still. His upper half, if you watch the elbow, same thing with Gary Mawson. What makes these guys as good as they are is the elbow does not move up or down. It doesn't move left or right. It is just a hinge from the forearm back and following through just straight with the wrist. You can see it right here. This is and that statue dart on 3 shows you why that one dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a 140 from Wadimina.
Yeah, and you can see Wadimina with the double trouble at the end of that leg was not happy and immediately snaps out of it into the next leg. And you have to, right? You can't give these moments here. Mawson's one of those guys that can absolutely take this match if he so desires. And right now his darts are just arguing with him a little bit there. And Wadimina is dictating this one a little bit.
Yeah, right now I'm just going to argue that he's not in the driver's seat that if he wants to win this match, he's going to. Because I'm sure he wants to win this match. It's looking less and less likely with every 3 darts that Wadimina throws, who we're seeing on the top of his game right now.
And that's an excellent recovery. Drops the dart, picks it up, and immediately chucks it right back into the bed there. Good stuff indeed. Mawson needs to leave a finish on the off chance that he does get a return here. And with the amount of prize money on the line, you're going to try your hardest no matter the circumstance.
Double 8 for the match. And finishes it in style, 14 darter. And, well, if you're going to lose, you really want to be beat overall, right? You don't want to give it away. Gary's going to think that he gave away a couple of those legs because he did. He had 2 shots at doubles, missed them, and then he missed a bunch more after that. But Wadamina's 97 average is going to win most of the time.
A well-deserved win there. Yeah. And honestly, one of the guys that is trying to say, hey, I might be a favorite for this one the way he's been playing right now.
Well, in leg number 2, they missed so many darts at a double that you think of what that average could have been for Wadimina.
Yeah, that and we're going to potentially see him have a redemption on that because he is in to the next round here.
And the semifinal is up here first. It's going to be Jermaine Wadimina versus Leonard Gates in that first battle.
Ooh, that sounds like a good one there.
It's going to be great. The greatest senior tour player of all time taking on the 42nd player in the world. It's going to be a great battle. And then Alex Spellman is awaiting the winner of Gian Van Vliet and Harrison Carter. That'll be our second semifinal. So we have the top 2 Americans on the CDC order of merit for the 20 games. Leonard Gates, the 10-time winner on tour. Alex Spellman, the number 1 seed heading into the season. And they're going to be taking on maybe some Dutch players.
Yeah, looking forward to bringing you guys continued coverage of the DPFL Dart event number 3. I almost got the name right.
We're just going to call this the DPFL Championship. It's going to be CDC versus PDC in the semifinals if Gian Van Vliet continues his run and takes out Harrison Carter. And that's a big if because Carter is playing well.
Well, we'll be back in just a moment's time, guys. And
just kidding.
Don't go far.
2-0 lead for Gian Van Vliet.
Yeah, just don't go far, guys. Here
don't
we
go far.
Great matches coming up.
Great matches.
joined by Ryan Watson here at the DPFL Live Event 3 and your amateur winner against Chattanooga in the finals and what was a very dramatic affair on the board. First off, a lot of people are probably wondering who you are. So can you tell us how long you've been playing darts, what got you into the game, and how you got here today?
Yeah, so about 3.5 years of playing darts in general outside of just like being at a bar randomly and throwing bar darts, I guess. I had a lot of friends in the scene back in Alabama that played, and they had a guy that was actually moving away, and they just kind of randomly asked if I wanted the spot. And yeah, I was just like, I've never played, was sure. And then like that first season was actually, I was like the 501 guy, and I was the third slot or the second slot, so I was always catching like the worst players. But I won every game that season, and I was just like, I can't go back now. So it was just like a sickness from then on. 3.5 years, and then I moved to Florida, and then about 2.5 years ago, and it's just been growing ever since. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, the finals against Chattanooga there, it was a high-pressure situation, but you ended up coming out on top, getting a $1,000 first-place prize. I mean, is this the biggest event you've won? I mean, what was your thoughts in that moment? I mean, talk us through it a little bit here.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling a lot of pressure because I didn't think I'd get to that point. So I'm the kind of guy where if I'm like, there's a certain point where if I get past it, I'm just like, this is all gravy now. Like, if whatever happens next is extra. So even in that game, obviously you step up there on the stage and it's like, this is a whole new thing, and so you're a little nervous at first. And I actually like the stage more because there's no people around. You feel like you're in a little vacuum. You don't know you're on camera unless you think about it, which I wasn't. But no, it was less pressure and more like, I don't know. I just took the pressure off myself a little bit. It didn't seem like he was feeling the pressure either. It was just like, maybe the missing some doubles got to him, and I wasn't missing that many. So, it wasn't a great game, but like it was a grinder. It's just, you got to win those. Like, I think, yeah.
Well, you did win it, in fact, and
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to go into an event hall like this where there's PDC Tour card holders, CDC Tour card holders, people that have done amazing things at the top of the dart game for a very long time, what's it feel like to be competing in the same room as them, get a chance to meet a lot of these darting idols?
Imposter. But it's just really cool. Like, it doesn't feel real. Like, there's no other sport where you can just like, you can't just like go play basketball with LeBron, like, that's not to say that's exactly what this is, but when you walk into a space and there's like Jim Van Veen and Matt Campbell and then Jermaine Watamena over there, these are guys that I watch every day. Like, not every day, but when they play, I watch them. Like, some of my favorite players. And so, yeah, that feels weird. It feels weird that I'm just like, I just drove down the road and then here I am with PDC players and I can talk to them and play with them. It's really weird. Yeah.
And I mean, you're also very undercover looking in the sense that you have the t-shirt on and the ball cap and everything. Obviously winning the amateur event, what's your next aspirations? Are you going to try to get maybe a jersey sponsor? Are you going to try to continue to keep grinding it out, or where do you see yourself going for the next step of your dart game?
I don't know. I don't think about that. Like, that feels not likely or possible. But it's something I want to be really good at. And that's all I really care about, is just getting better at it. And, I most of the time I play every day. I practice every night at home. Like, even if it's 30 minutes, I'm going to throw a few darts. So I think just like, it's less about what I want to do and just like how good I want to be. I want to be one of those guys that's up there, averaging 80s. I want to have those 100 average games. I don't know. I want to see what's possible, I guess, is all I really care about.
Well, we're excited to see what's possible as well, and we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us here. As again, you gave us a great performance on the stage, and it's looking bright for the future of Florida darts, with Ryan Watson being a welcomed addition to it. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thanks.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to beautiful Kissimmee, Florida at the Reunion Resort. Sean Green, Nick Dichiria. This is the first semifinal that we're going to get in this DPFL championship. These gentlemen have already guaranteed $1,000 in their pocket. Now they're trying to go for $6,000 for first place or $3,000 for second. Soldier just made $3,000 for making a top 4 a couple weeks ago on ESPN. He would like to better that today.
Yeah, and of course the format for the semifinal is increased to a first to 5 there.
Beautiful. It's a little bit longer format, which I prefer and love because the more time I get to watch these two battles that we're about to get in the semifinals, I'm going to just call it. This is CDC versus PDC in the semifinals. Jermaine Wadamina versus Leonard Gates, and then Alex Spellman taking on Gian Van Vliet. You could also call this USA versus Netherlands.
The battle of the acronyms.
What?
CDC, PDC.
The battle of the acronyms. USA versus NED.
Well, you can see 140 there does get Wadamina in it to a good position, but not as good as he would like, especially if Gates can find a trouble here on this visit. Does not, though. So 144 doesn't have to go, but might have to go. Depends.
I'm laughing because that's exactly how I would have messed that up too. Just straight up. Like I would not have been able to do it. How? Another one of those. And that's a perfect first dart. I don't think it's a perfect second dart, though. Leaves tops if he returns. Jermaine Wadamina, 49.
Double 16.
Yep.
Double 8. Doesn't go. And a little bit of that double trouble that we saw from that last, halfway point from the last match we saw against Mawson there.
Good market for Gates, but it's going to be double 10. And he also goes inside. Not like either of these players to miss doubles like that.
I think it's some first leg blues going on as Wadamina does find it there. And I don't think that standard will be the standard we'll see for the rest of this match, more than likely.
Yeah, JW takes a 1-0 lead. It's just a hold a throw. And honestly, with it being kind of a little bit of a shaky first leg, if you're Gates, you got to feel decent about that. The only thing you don't feel decent about is that top 8 battle that you had to kind of warm you up for this one, because Gates only averaged 75.
Well, how about that average increaser right there, finding a maximum upstairs to start off leg number 2 here.
Again, a huge thank you to the Professional Darts Corporation for allowing us to stream these players and for giving them the access to do so. Well, it makes things so much better for our viewers, better for us, better for everyone.
I do want to also, while we're in the mood of giving shout-outs here, want to mention as well, hold on. Leonard Gates said, let me go ahead and hit this first real quick, and then you can go ahead and say whatever you're going to say, Nick. Free beer in the dart hall there for these players watching and supporting the finals as we get another 180 in response from Wadamina.
His second of the leg.
3
Leonard would
total.
like to not hit another 180. 60 only. So PDC versus CDC battle is about to be 2-0 PDC. It is a race to 5. So a bit of a longer format. That does go in the double 10. 2-0 lead for Wadamina, and he'll just do-si-do and pivot back to the starting line.
Yeah, and you can see that was a great recovery from him. I mean, again, both those guys in the first leg were not near the standard of what you would typically expect, and they immediately snapped out of it. Really just onslaught after onslaught between these two competitors here.
Great darts from Soldier, who's struggling a little bit in the past couple matches. But when you're playing against Jermaine Wadamina, nice 1-3-1, and it's 1-3-1, and he's averaging what he's averaging, you just kind of have to improve, or else you're going to lose 5-0.
No, you certainly do. I mean, there's not really much room for error here, as you can see some perfection coming from Leonard Gates on that one.
And as he shows us, he's never been about that. Gator never been about that life.
He does give the good, come on, Gator, every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually was out there filming earlier, and he gave one right to the camera.
Come on, Gator.
Love it. Love every bit of it. Gates just going to try to tee it up here and having a little bit of trouble. You need to find something, and
That's
doesn't
breakfast.
do it. Yeah, I mean, he does do the bare minimum, but not the way that he would like.
Wadamina just trying to set it up. 36 left. Does that
Teed up
beautifully.
beautiful.
Gates the 160 look. Oh, that's a beautiful first dart.
Needs to follow it.
Oh. And that was literally the difference between a millimeter of it grabbing the flight a different way.
Yeah, I mean, excellent visit there for Gates, but not
For a
excellent
13
enough.
darter. 13 dart hold of throw for Jermaine Wadamina. It's a 3-0 lead. They're both improving, but Wadamina's
Improving better.
improvement is started at a higher level. You get the side profile look from Soldier. From the front, his throw looks like it's not quite an aimed. It's more of a feel throw, but you can see right there from the side, it's about as textbook as it actually should be. The side profile is always the way to really look at a dart throw. That's where you're going to see the consistencies between player to player.
Yeah, and it's also the discrepancies too, right? I mean, not only from the side angle, but everybody's dart throw in different versions, different angles, always looks slightly different. And when you're trying to mimic or maybe recreate the throw or work on your own throw, it's noted that you need to check the different angles, right? And these guys have excellent form. There's no real questioning that.
Well, yeah, they're top players in the world because of that. Soldier hits the 177. Big dart from Leonard Gates. Leaves 44.
Yeah.
And this is what we like to see out of him.
Magnificent
11
darts.
dart hold to throw. Look at these averages just raising. Roof raising.
Yeah, this is amazing standard from these guys, and this is what we expected to see. And we told you the first leg was an outlier. But
If he misses this, and he doesn't, big 12 dart hold to throw for Gates. 3-1.
Yeah, needed that leg on the board, but this is where it starts to get a little bit hairier here as right now Wadamina starting off with perfection once again. Second time in this match he started off that way.
That's a 180 from JW. Soldier trying to follow suit. The 140 is a good match, but we're seeing top darts for the PDC, for the CDC, battling it out. Leonard Gates, Houston, Texas native. Plays soft tip, plays steel tip. Former semi-professional baseball player. And he is a grinder on the dartboard. He's traveling weekly to play darts in these major tournaments.
Probably one of the most traveled, at least inside the U.S., for current playing players. He really has gone around and done almost every tournament from the bottom level to the top level. You can see him at your local regional sometimes. He'll just show up there and put on a dominant performance.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only level that he has not played at is that PDC level. He's probably one of those North Americans and United States players that has a likely chance of getting a tour card at some point. I mean, he dominated stage 1 last year and just fell short on stage 2, and he would be the type of player that would utilize it fully, that type of tour card. You see him, he's the number 3 seed in the senior match play.
He will not get a look here. He wanted to try to get himself at least one dart going for the ball.
4-1 lead.
And does get it there. Look at that from Wadamina. Getting it 4-1 and putting himself in pole position to potentially get this match.
Soldier getting it started here.
Needs to start off strong.
It's as simple as this. He's got to win the rest of them. Or else we're going to have a PDC Dutch player in the final in Jermaine Wadamina.
He certainly would like that, right?
100%. In that second semifinal that will be coming up next, it is Alex Spellman, the Jackal, taking on Gian Van Vleen, 22 years old, taking on Alex Spellman, who is becoming an ambassador for the game here in North America.
Agreed there. And right now, Leonard Gates, you can't count him out. You look at this 4-1 score deficit, but even then, he's also one of those guys that will fight every single leg. I've never seen him give up on a leg, even in his most frustrated moments that we've ever caught him on. He does not give up on it, especially for this much money, for this much pride on the line as well, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you saw leg number 1, he averaged 70-something in that first leg, and now has risen right there above 100 heading into that throw. So he's starting – I mean, he's up for the task of throwing with these guys. Wadamina is so good at timing in darts, and that's the biggest thing from the top level. You're just you're better at timing than you are your opponents. Soldier will get 1 dart at 32, and he'll be back.
Yeah, the double's a little bit off on that last dart there. It was kind of following the first 2 there, but no harm, no foul, leaving on a 16. And especially with Wadamina's position, like you mentioned. 16 to get a second leg on the board and try to get himself back into this one. Going to try to use that to his advantage. Can ride right in on the barrel and does do so and gives a little bit of stuff to the camera.
4-2. And you can see exactly what was in the mind of Jermaine Wadamina. Hey, I can give him that leg because I have the throw next. And he has a lot of breathing room, right? He could lose this one too. And he will still have another leg where he will have to be broken. It's a tough ask for Leonard Gates. It's a tough ask for anyone in the world in this position.
But, how many times has Leonard Gates been on the other end of that situation, right? He's used to that position, and he knows what needs to be done here. He's not disillusioned. There's no illusions of grandeur here. He is just going to try to go to work once again.
And same way for Jermaine Wadamina. He has been up this amount before and had opponents come back and beat him. So he is also going to know not to take the foot off the gas. He'll be weary of that, especially with his opponent showing up and ready to battle. Yeah,
all gas, no brakes, like you said there. Trying to get himself to a finish, 2-3-6 in good position. Going to try to follow that dart on the wire. Needs one of these to go in.
Trouble would effectively stolen the throw, and unfortunately it does not, so Wadamina has 6 from 220. I like those odds.
Yeah. Winning darts, 50-50 every time. Everything's 50-50. I almost said that correctly. That was great. 1-7-6 cannot go, so how well can he set himself up here?
Needs a treble. Gets it. All right, Shanghai for the match and a spot in the final.
Can use that.
Does. Tops. Oh, drops it low. Soldier's going to get a look. Needs it. Must go for Soldier Leonard Gates.
Important to stay true here as well. You want that guaranteed dart no matter what.
Beautiful. Double 8.
Soldier trying to take advantage into the red bit. But it doesn't find it, and you can see it was almost a grimace there from him.
Oh, no, he shouted loudly. It was a heavy growl from Soldier.
That it was. But a little bit double trouble. Wadamina does not find it. So now the opportunity hand back over. Leonard Gates knows the importance of this moment. This could completely flip the script of this match. It has to go. It doesn't.
And in this situation, Nick, would you agree that that's a moment where Soldier was not expecting to come back, and that adrenaline dump that he just had by screaming, thinking it was over, he was unable to really regain the form?
Yeah, no, I would 110% agree with you there. I think that was one of those things where he didn't expect to have the opportunity, like you said. But on top of that, it was the frustrations of knowing that he missed that previous round. I think he was still kind of thinking about those last 3 darts more so than the adrenaline dump of anything else. But there's so many factors that really play into it. And you can see Leonard Gates obviously a little disappointed with this exit. But, I mean, Wadamina has kind of been that guy today, and he's really showing some of the best stuff. And these 2 guys have also been showing us some great stuff, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 1,000%. You can see the second semifinal. They are ready to go. So we are not going to take a break. Gian Van Vleen, Alex Spellman, the match coming up next. The Jackal taking on the Giant. And the Giant is not a ironic nickname. Gian, at 22 years old, while in good shape physically, is very tall.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And notable to mention that, the 22-year-olds have been faring fairly well here. I mean, Joey Linaw getting into a final with Leonard Gates there as well for the Open Cricket. It's great to see, again, this next generation of young talents. And on top of that, I mean, of course, Alex Spellman in the last few years really hasn't needed an introduction. Really, about 3 years ago, has started his campaign and has been slowly working on submitting himself as one of the best shots in North America, and I think he's successfully done so.
There are a lot of PDC players that have a lot of respect for Alex Spellman. that know how well he can play. Alex goes to tour school or goes to Q school, but he's okay not getting a tour card, which is not like most players that go to do it. He goes for the experience of doing so. If he gets it, great. He'll use it. If he doesn't, he is totally fine growing the game here as an ambassador. So, and has been a fantastic proponent in growing this game here. Gian Van Vleen is a tough opponent. 31 ranked player in the world. He has the highest average so far in the tournament at 96.6. His first 9 is a 108. But if there's anyone that can keep up with that, it's Alex Spellman.
Yeah, and of course, both these guys have so much under their belts, so much accomplishments to their names, and Ian just really kind of just curious where he will go. But Alex Spellman, I do want to mention this, does do coaching with DPFL as well, so does do his online session coaching there and works with the program pretty adamantly. And that's great to see because he's really one of those guys that's not afraid to impart his knowledge onto others and kind of share some of the trade secrets and talk inside baseball with these guys.
Hey, and a huge shout out to Bruce Robbins, who's going to be chalking this one. Bruce, a very, very long-standing member of the Minutemen Dart Association. So shout out to them. And let's get going. Gian Van Vleen, Alex Spellman. Will it be a battle of the jorts in the finals, or will Alex Spellman crash that party?
Yeah, that is the question that some people probably are asking, and other people would word it differently. Looking forward to this one here. And, of course, on top of that, I mean, let's be honest, there's going to be a fair amount of the people in the chat that are going to be saying, hey, we want at least one guy from North America in this final, right? And make it a battle of the nations here. If you're asking Gian, he does not believe that. He wants to just go ahead and throw his darts his way and get some wins on the board.
Yeah, guys, grab your popcorn. Just scoot to the edge of your seat. You won't need the rest.
I mean, what is your expectations for this matchup, right? I mean, just going off your guttural instinct here.
If they're, I mean, it depends. They're gonna play off each other, right? If one of them averages over 100, they both will, or they'll both be right around it. If they both struggle a little bit, or if one of them struggles a little bit, they both will struggle a touch, and maybe it'll be around a 91, 92, which is their struggle in this moment. Jermaine Wadamina awaits the winner of this in the final. Again, these players guaranteed $1,000. A win here adds an extra $2K on top of that automatically with a chance to win 6.
Yeah, and that's a tantalizing prize in front. Alex Spellman trying to find a tantalizing triple as well as, look at this, lighting it up at the right moment. Oh, my goodness.
Spellman leaves 60 after 12, or 50 after 12. Did you shoot the bull here just to get it started on the right foot?
For how methodical he is, I would highly doubt that he takes the bull shot.
That's not him at all.
That's not his style.
He would rather do that every day of the week. 14 dart, hold a throw in leg number 1 for Spellman. He sets the tone that this is going to be a match that Van Veen's going to really have to work for. And he's up for that task.
Of course
I guarantee you that.
He absolutely should be up for this task. And, you look at Alex Spellman, we kind of mentioned just there how methodical he is. He is one of the most self-analytic players I've ever seen. He is talking about every point of his throw. He's thinking about his arm position, his dart, the angles of everything, the wind trajectory probably. He's looking at local weather reports maybe.
No, he's not.
To the point, though, where he is hyper-analytical of his game, which makes him a great coach, mind you. But also one of those things where when things are going well, he knows it's going well and can continue to replicate that as much as he can.
But he's also very good at adjusting his throw if things are not going well. Sometimes being over-analytical can harm, definitely. In his case, it does not do that. If he was not over-analytical, he wouldn't be as good as he is.
Yeah, and that is the pros and cons of the situation there. Alex, unfortunately, on the outside looking in on this leg, it looks like
for sure.
as he's just trailing by a little bit here.
Yeah, let's just say bye-bye to this leg. Gian Van Vleen has a million years at 121 right now. Just tease it up a little bit nicely.
Yeah, wanted to probably get a little bit more out of that one, but it's going to be just fine there and will certainly suit the case.
I think it'll be fine for tops on the tee-up. with Spellman back on 355 and not getting anywhere closer.
That's the Florida math in me, by the way.
Fair. Tops. Now double 10. And he pins the double 15. That's too many, in case you were still worried about that Florida math.
Appreciate that.
So Spellman going to look at the bottom of the board, 306 left. Now going up. And that is going to be a dart that he's going to hate, that second dart.
I think right now what Spellman is thinking is, okay, well, this leg is obviously probably not going to go my way. I'm going to just focus on making sure I'm ready for the next one. And that's entirely where his headspace is at. He's not really focused on the current state of this one. And right now, Van Veen is kind of struggling a little bit towards the tail end. And Alex is probably also thinking, man, what if I did hit a couple more big rounds?
You're not wrong on both of those statements. And unfortunately for Spellman, you're just gifting Van Veen a winning leg when it's a 19 dart hole to throw, and he won't do that again.
Yeah,
he won't do that again.
You can't do that again. When you're talking first to 5 format, it is still, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a slightly extended format, but it's not as much as you think, and those separations can come at any point. If you throw the 19 dart game at the wrong time, it is maybe over for your tournament run.
Right now, both of them struggle bussing.
It goes in suit. When one player misses, sometimes the other one, but of course when one hits, the other one can as well.
Yeah, that's a 180 from Alex Spellman. The first two darts, you just knew. You knew. I didn't want to call it out, but you knew.
And it was also great placement on that last dart, just put right on top of those two barrels. Not much if, ands, or but about that one. I do love with Alex Spellman, if you actually look at his flights there, he's a big believer of you don't need to change him out too much. As apparently they're working just fine at the moment. And you can see they actually have a little bit of fraying and everything like that. He's like, they work just fine. As long as they're all attached and everything like that, it's fine. And Van Veen, on the other hand, you can see, usually tries to keep them pretty prim and proper, it seems.
Spellman in Fuego in this leg. And he knows that really he only has to throw great in 5 legs. And those are going to be the 5 legs that he gets to throw in with an automatic advantage. The problem is that he's playing against a kid, and I'm going to call him a kid. He's 22, but I'm 36, so I'm allowed to say it. He's playing against a kid who, even if Spellman throws great with the throw, he could still lose that leg.
Well, and as Spellman is going to try to take this one right here, is not going to underestimate somebody based off age. I mean, going from the Carolina area as well. I mean, very familiar with PJ Stewart.
I was
and
just
all those
calling him
guys.
a kid just because we need to be reminded that he is a kid. Another one of those. Oh, he moves to the 16s.
Yeah, it does collect on the last one there, but I think the first one just looked good enough where you almost kind of want to stay for momentum purposes.
Yeah, actually, even if he didn't agree with where that first start was laying in the treble, I still think the better shot there is tops than instead. But Spellman gets it done, cleans it up nicely. It's a 2-1 lead for the American from Fuquay Varina, North Carolina.
Finding 100 for Van Veen to get things going here. Again, he's just going to focus on playing those consistent turns here in, here out. And the fanfare and the fancy shots will come in the right times when you need them most. And everything else in between, you just need to make sure it's dialed in as much as you can.
I love this, by the way. There's a lot of people there watching this stage action happening. You can see Steve Brown, director of the JDC, in the background, also watching along. It's 9:33, so the blind draw is just getting started or about to get started. So this is the moment where as many players are in the room, it's going to be in the room, and this is a semifinal that I would be glued to as well.
Yeah, how do you not watch this, right? I mean, this is literally darts that would be televised overseas as well. I mean, with the standard, with the ability of these players, the notoriety of them, and what's on the line here for these players.
Let us know in the chat. Who are you rooting for? Who do you have in this? What's the final score prediction? 2-1 lead here for Spellman. And while you're at it, just hit that share button. It's super easy. It's right next door. And if you're not a subscriber, if you're on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, definitely follow USA Darts. Bring you coverage almost every week, Sometimes more than once a week.
Depending on these weeks. Nowadays, there's more and more events going on here in North America, and we're happy to cover each and every one of them. It's basically
You're not
how it is
wrong,
nowadays. Well, 144 might have to go because Alex Spellman does get himself to a finish there and a big find on the 140.
It's not going to go, but Van Veen's got to assume that he's going to be back.
I don't assume anything when playing Spellman.
Staying right there. Look at this. Double 14. That's a big 148 checkout for the Jackal.
And that's why you don't assume anything when you're playing Alex Spellman.
Wow. 15 dart break a throw. That's the first haymaker thrown in this match. Spellman, though, needs to settle in. This is, of course, what you do after a 148 checkout, right? You just struggle early. You can't kick it from here because I guarantee you that's going to motivate Van Veen to perform better in this leg.
Yeah, it's certainly the case. And, we talk about the John Park golden rule, right? I mean, 2-leg separation from the winning for Alex Spellman and 2-leg separation for Van Veen from Alex Spellman. Right now, I mean, it's just foot on the pedal. That's entirely what your thought process is going to be here for Alex. It just keep doing what you're doing. It's slowly going in your favor. And Van Veen, honestly, really isn't doing much wrong, but it's not the tightest performance we've seen from him, especially on paper.
No, but his average is just going to continue to rise from this point in this match. I guarantee it. Spellman's going to have to do the same. And he can do the same, and he will, if Van Veen starts to. And the chat's not wrong. I am saying an L for no reason.
Well, that's an L for you then, Sean.
Very much so. And Van Veen, in the process of attacking the throw, leaves 121 after 9. Spellman really needs a couple troubles. 3 obviously is very nice.
He's going to go for 3.
He's looking somewhere else. At the bull, try to utilize that to leave a 2-dart finish.
He wanted to guarantee the 3 treble call from both of us was wrong there.
For sure.
1-2-1.
Gonna get a dart.
How good of a dart will it be? It's going to be a good one.
Double 14. And Spellman's already taken out the 148. The 140 technically is just as difficult.
I was going to say about the same level of difficulty, and it's not going to go this time. He's going to have to just try to apply pressure on the 28 and see if some double trouble. I mean, we saw double trouble in leg 1. It could be something that happens again here, and maybe it doesn't, but in either case, he's in a good position with that 3-1 advantage currently. Van Veen
has attacked the throw nicely, now just needs to wrap it up. Double 7. Nobody likes double 7.
Needs to get over that dart. Tries
and he doesn't. Spellman would love 2 clear darts at a double. He's looking tops. No, he's not. That would have been crazy.
He's only going to get 1 dart for the double. What a dart it would be for him. Double 20. Doesn't go. Leave himself on 40.
You see the reaction from Soldier there in the background. Going to be rooting for his friend, his American friend.
Yeah, you got national pride on the line here.
Double 7 goes for Gian Van Veen. It's now 3-2. That's a break of throw. We're back on throw. And you see that average just starting to creep up for the 22-year-old Dutch player and 31 ranked player in the world.
And this is a big moment, too. I mean, it just a hold a throw here does so much in the longevity of this matchup here to get yourself into the scenario where, the last leg nervy darts start to potentially come out from either side or from neither side with how well these guys have been keeping their composure on the stage today.
Can we also talk about how impressive it is to be the 31st ranked player in the world? After Luke Lidler finished in the final of the World Arts Championship, he moved to 31st in the world with that much prize money that he won in that one tournament. So Gian Van Veen has had to have consistent success on tour over the past 2 years in order to be ranked in that position. He's made the most of his 2-year tour card. Now, currently, he gets a bye in the first round of the World Arts Championship.
And, I mean, it goes without saying, when you have these youth talents that start developing good habits early on, it can lead to some very promising careers. And on top of that, natural talent always plays a factor to a certain extent.
And if you don't think Steve Brown director of the JDC, is back there not smiling really big in the fact that John comes from that program.
That he does, and Spellman now going to need to get himself to a finish here to pressure the 76. Because right now, Van Veen's doing everything right to cover that 3-1 deficit and make it chalk across the board here.
It might only be one dart at the double. Just kidding. Double 8. For a tie ball game. Great marker.
That was almost too good of a marker. Catching right on that barrel and just flicking over to the left just a tad. 1-2-1. Not going to go. Didn't stay true in that first dart. You have to take that extra moment. It doesn't quite release the way he would have wanted to there, and you can see the frustration on his face a little bit.
Cleanup duty for Van Veen. It's going to be double 4. You know my thoughts on it.
Your thoughts have stated true on it.
And he grabs the double 2 on the last dart to make it a 3-3 scoreline.
And that was a great hole to throw there after the break to get himself into this position here.
It's a best 2 out of 3. $2,000 is the difference.
To play Jermaine Wadamina in the final there. No matter who gets to that match, it's going to be a barn burner, as this one currently is as well.
We have the chat, McNamara, saying GVV doesn't lose another leg is the statement he's making. He goes, I would love to see Spellman take it, but that's what his brain is telling him over his heart.
I'll take the over.
I would agree. I very much think Spellman wins at least one more leg. It doesn't hurt that he's in the driver's seat of this one currently.
Well, he has to be careful, though, because Van Veen at any moment can kind of close that distance, and this is the moment where he's going to try to do so. This is where timing matters. Moments like this, where it's a slight off shot, as it looks like they're going to correct that real quick.
Yeah. They both knew. They both would have easily have done that. As soon as Spellman realized that Bruce had made that error.
Does find a 19 on the last start there to go ahead and try to bring up that score and close that distance, but Alex Spellman still in the driver's seat. Is the foot on the pedal? It is.
What type of pressure will it be under? Zero.
Yeah, I was going to say that's best case scenario, 6 starts for 118. Good position for the Jackal here. He's going to get a dart. To go to match point. Spellman.
He will return with tops. And how about this? The Gambler is putting his wager out there. GVV has struggled in last leg deciders. I see it 5-4 Alex.
Interesting calls all across the board here. Alex to get to match point once again.
Double 10.
The red bit.
And the last thing you can do is you cannot give GVV a shot at 160. You cannot give GVV a shot at 160.
Yeah, we talked about the timing of the 148 for Alex Spellman. Don't count out Van Veen either.
This would be better. This would be better.
Took that extra moment to gain composure, and it doesn't go.
I think all of us did a breath of relief there, but Spellman still got to finish it off, or else. Never mind, doesn't matter. Does finish off. What a great last start. That was huge.
Yeah, no, massive moment of composure there on those last 3 darts. Obviously, Alex Spellman not happy with how many darts it took and how much of a scare that was, but Van Veen's not going to think about it for too long, it seems.
Yeah, how about that? It was a 21-dart hole to throw at the end of the day, but there's so much drama in those last 6 darts between both players.
Yeah, and there's going to be continued drama here in this leg, it seems.
Look at this from Van Veen. 140, Nick Dichiria.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, if you're going to score, finding 2 treble visits is the difference maker. We saw with Luke Littler's run in the World Championship that kind of got him on the map for many people, was the fact that just every time he was always finding 2. And then when he was hitting the 180s, that's great. When you're hitting the 100s, that's fine. But if you're finding 2 trebles every time you go up, you're going to be feeling fantastic on that level of consistency.
Well, misses the 25 or bowl setup on the last dart, so he's back a little bit further than he wants to be. Spellman needs 2 trebles. Not going to do it. So this looking so far like the gambler is on the right
path there.
Yeah, looks like it's going to go to a last leg decider unless something crazy happens like double trouble from GVV, which is obviously something that can always happen.
And on top of that, I mean, I always say never count Alex Spellman, but of course he's on the outside looking in with this particular leg here.
Pressure. Not max, but enough.
We'll see if it's enough. Double 20 to get us to a tie-breaking leg.
And it goes in the double 10. Last leg decider in this second semifinal. It's been a battle. The averages have been less than desirable, but the actual results of this match have been anything but.
Yeah, and this is important for Alex Spellman. He has the throw here in this last leg, and he's going to take advantage of it with that open there. Oh, my goodness, a 1-3-7 to get things going. Van Veen going to try to respond in suit.
Great last start. Needed last start.
And Alex kind of drops that first one a little bit low for him. You see it's even pitched up a little bit. He might have to find a cover.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't. He decided to stay, and it kind of almost overthrew that last start. Opening here for Van Veen.
And he just says, no thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, opportunity squandered there a little bit.
See him? He goes, shucks, in the background, which, by the way, might be the best demeanor in something like that you could have.
Yeah, you just have to kind of shake it off there, especially given the pressure of the moment. The more you can smile and wave, the better you'll feel.
And there's a lot of players that would do that and then immediately get frustrated, but not him. And he follows the 180 after the 30, immediately makes up for the misstep.
Yeah, right back into the leg here, and in fact, leading the pack between him and Spellman at the moment. Spellman not going to be able to leave a finish now.
Yeah, the advantage has been stolen from Van Veen. He now has 6 darts from 191 for an all-Dutch final and a battle of the jorts.
That it would be. Does find that last start into the 19s there, putting himself in excellent position.
Huge last start.
Alex Spellman needs to stay cool and collected and find a little bit of magic here.
Soldier starting to pout because his friend's behind.
Taking that extra moment, very methodical player.
Hits the 140. That's huge.
That was a must-find to put pressure. We'll see what Van Veen does here.
Yeah, I think you have to. 69 left. And honestly, that's a good marker for the bowl.
He's going to have to use it.
For the match. Wow.
Oh, my goodness, by
that
a millimeter.
Could not have been closer. Spellman, 80 left. If he stays true, he'll have at least 1 dart at his favorite double.
It's only going to be 1 dart. Doesn't go to the Jackal here. You can see everyone kind of just looking around, wiring the doubles. Which wire will be on the favorable side for these players?
Beautiful first dart. Double 8. 2 darts incoming for the match. You see him take an extra moment there. And that is maturity. And John Van Veen wins it 5-4 over the Jackal Alex Spellman, who's going to be kicking himself that he didn't hit that double at the end. But, wow, what a battle.
Yeah, that was down in the trenches a little bit for these guys. I mean, they had these very explosive moments, and then they had these moments where they were really just kind of dogfighting it out there a little bit. And Spellman's going to be a little bit upset in the sense that he had that 3-1 advantage, and it did not go his way at the end. But, I mean, really what that was Van Veen doing stuff right. And it's going to be time for the finals here in just a moment. Van Veen, Wadamina, the all-Dutch final.
Yeah.
And, oh, my goodness, Sean. I mean, this is just crazy to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a battle of the 31st ranked player in the world taking on the 43rd ranked player in the world here in Florida. Both PDC tour card holders, both Dutch stars on tour, and they're going to be battling it out. Top 2 averages of the event are going to the final. You can't ask for what is going to be insanity between 2 qualifiers that had to qualify for this yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, these are on-site qualifiers that are making the run. Danny Baggish with a great comment in here. All-American final for the cricket, All-European final for the 01.
There you go. So, guys, stay with us. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Let everybody know the final between Gian Van Veen and Jermaine Wadamina comes up next, right after these ads.
Luke Humphries is the greatest darting force on the planet. Bullseye. Oh, we got one. Fish has been landed. We know he's too good. The world #1, world champion. Incredible stuff.
Let me tell you about A to Z Darts. We're a specialty dart store with over 10,000 different products. We create in-depth videos and blogs to help improve your game and showcase our products. We give helpful advice on how to practice darts, the fundamentals of form and mechanics, and how to make better decisions when purchasing your darting equipment. Whether you're brand new or a seasoned player, we try to provide fun and informative content. I'm Jen, the creative director for A to Z Darts. I've been playing for over 10 years, and I've traveled the world competing in and promoting the sport. This is Will. He runs our live streaming company, USA Darts, and travels the globe as well to broadcast major darting events and interview PDC players alike. You'll find over 2,000 different sets of darts on our website. Guessing right now you're pretty interested in our resources? Learn about form, throwing mechanics, practice routines, scoring and grouping, checkout methods, cricket strategy, and much more. Visit a-zdarts.com to take advantage of our blog or follow us on social media at AZDarts today.
He's the greatest darting force on the planet. Bullseye. Oh, we got one. Fish has been landed. We know he's too good. The world #1, world champion. Incredible stuff.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DPFL Championship Final. Well, they flew 6,000 miles to play each other, but it is the Battle of the Jorts. Gian Van Veen taking on Jermaine Wadamina.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. And look
I'm
at
Sean Green, your play commentator, joined by Nick Dichiria. Nick,
I'm so
welcome.
excited to be here. I am so excited to be here, Mr. Sean Green. Look at how international the stage is. Of course, Jacob saw on the chalk for this one as well from Canada. So full international matchup, all in Kissimmee, Florida. And we're going to be lighting up some fireworks here on the dartboard. Wadamina, you almost felt like with the matches we've seen on stream, it kind of seems like his to win. But Van Veen, with the numbers he's put up on the sideboards there, really makes it question, hey, who really has the advantage here? And it's going to be too close to call this early.
Well, 100%. First of all, great point to point out Jacob Sa. What a moment for him. He is the current Canadian #1 youth player to commentate a match of a former youth finalist.
Mm-hmm.
And this is and 2 PDC pros, the 31st ranked player in the world in Van Veen and the 43rd ranked player in the world. And, hey, you and I can just get to nonchalantly do this commentary, like a PDC match commentary.
And which shout out to the PDC again for letting us have these players on our stream here. And shout out to DPFL for bringing us in here. And let's be honest, we're excited to see.
Putting on a great event that these players want to play in.
Oh, these players love playing in. You heard Keegan Brown's comments earlier. Yep. He was loving every bit of it.
I know there's a lot of American viewers here on the USA Dart stream that are not excited to see an all-Dutch final, but I'm telling you right now, you should be, because this is a very exciting final. The fact that we just realized this is our last match of the evening and it's a all-PDC final is just this is just stupid good. Look at this.
This is world class.
Big 108 checkout for Jermaine Wadamina in leg number 1. It's a 15-dart break, a throw. Early in this match, advantage Wadamina.
And, I mean, again, the Wadamina, you nailed on the head earlier, nailed his timing every single time he's needed to. When you can't teach clutch, and he's been clutch at the right moments.
I love his jersey, too. It represents being here in 2024 at this event. It's great to see, you can see USA 2024 on the jersey. Red Dragon sponsored player for Gian Van Veen.
Yeah, and just so much promise from him, right? I mean, 22 years old, and just knowing that the ceiling, the limit, the peak is yet to come from him, and he's already playing at a world-class level and playing as one of the best in the world.
Well, he would be one of the best. He'd be the best up-and-coming player in the PDC if it wasn't for some 17-year-old.
Some 17-year-old. Could be anybody that we're talking about. Definitely not.
It's Luke Lidler,
Oh, that one. That
Yep.
one. Okay, that's who I was thinking of, too.
someone privy to his kebabs.
That he is.
And I got to be honest, knowing exactly where he got that kebab, because I had kebabs from there.
Oh, this might
definitely
go.
great. It
Doesn't go quite yet, but Van Veen at 1-6-1 here. And you have to feel like he really wants this. He doesn't want to give that 2-0 lead early on.
He's going to, because Wadamina's going to come back, and then as long as something crazy doesn't happen, it should be a 2-0 advantage. Van Veen has 6 180s heading into this match, this final, in 5 matches. How about Wadamina has 12 in 5 matches coming into this? So the consistency, though, has favored Van Veen in the scoring. Not so far in this final. A 91 plays 90 in the averages. There's really nothing between them besides the leg differential.
No, and there's that level of comfortability between the fact that these players are extremely familiar with each other. There's no unknowns here. This is literally known as, well, these guys are good, and they're going to make it known that they want to win it.
Well, and we knew that the A game was going to come out here, just like it did in the qualifier yesterday. They show up here to this DPFL event making a gamble, right? Because the only way that they're going to come out of this event really making money is if they not only win or make the finals in this event, but also qualify for it the night before. So for them to come across and do that and then get to this moment, while it's not completely unsurprising for the 2 highest-ranked players in the room, in the world, to do so, it still is a testament to their skill.
It certainly is a testament to their skill, indeed. And, I mean, it's also like right now we're looking at a moment here where this is going to be them really rising to the occasion, playing some of their best darts.
Maybe.
But Spellman made a comment earlier in regards to his semifinal performance, saying that his turns were either 10 plus or sub 60. It was more of a dogfight style match to get to this point for Van Veen. There's no room for dogfight as he does sink that one in there and gets a leg on the board, and Wadamina wasting no time immediately at the Aki, ready for the next go.
Well, first of 6 legs here in this final. This is just a typical PDC Players' Championship format for them, or a first-round battle in most televised tournaments. So they've been there before. They've done this before on much grander scales. Now they're just seeing if they can beat each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wadamina is probably big brother status, would love to to take it to him. Whoever is going to be bragging on the flight home, and that's a 180 from GVV. Did he time it perfectly?
I mean, it was a pretty good timing. Does find 100 there for Wadamina, so will be the first at a finish. 127, not a bad look at a finish either, potentially. Kind of crossed all over and not able to get into the bed there for Van Veen.
Yeah, and this will be a dart. It started at 8-8, and it's a 127 checkout. Wadamina had 1 ton-plus checkout heading into this match. He now has 3, and 2 of the wins here. 3-1 lead for Wadamina.
And that rising standard continues to go.
Yeah, look at those averages just jumping. Does the winning average over 100 here in this DPFL final? Championship?
I'm going to say yes. And here's why I'm going to say it. It's because we want to see it and they want to please the fans.
I was going to say, it's because we hope so.
Because we want that.
Guys, hit that like button, hit that share button. Final DPFL championship. Sean Green, Nick Dichiria on the call with Will Stuart doing all the camera work, so direct your attention to him for any complaints. Jacob Saw chalking this bad boy, the Canadian #1 youth player.
Yeah, I do love that, there's a lot of young blood on the stage between Jacob Saw and Van Veen, right? It's cool to see.
And a great point there from Shane Sando, just pointing out how amazing this is for DPFL to have the final of their championship featuring 2 PDC professionals. You think, you wouldn't even imagine, if that was even your goal heading into this, accomplishing that goal as quickly as they have in 3 years.
Yeah, on top of that, I mean, last year was the final of the CDC players, right, with Alex Spellman and Stowe Bunce there. So a little bit of a flip-flop of the acronym war.
All right, Van Veen, 48 left for a hole to throw and a 3-2 scoreline. Double 8.
It does do a good job of recomposing, but just doesn't click on the right side of the wire. He wasn't happy with that second dart. It went right where the first one was.
It'll be 1 dart at tops for Wadamina, and he pins it. He is just hammering these doubles. 4-1 lead. Doubles make the difference, and right now you saw Van Veen give an eye roll in the background. But right now JW is on top of the doubles and up 4-1, and that was a break of throw on top of it.
Well, it's just the finishing from Wadamina. I mean, what are you supposed to do when your opponent's basically hitting doubles on command? And, I mean, obviously Van Veen's been scoring just fine. He's been getting himself in the races and just a couple of haywire darts. Of course, I mean, he really should have taken the 48. He really wanted to take the 48. And when it doesn't go his way, the timing, once again, Wadamina just doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, and now, as the John Part rule of thumb, Wadamina is 2 legs away from victory. Van Veen is down 3 legs. Van Veen's in trouble, officially.
Yeah, in the deep-seated waters here on the Florida coast.
Wadamina not having to shoot at the 161. Wouldn't have known if he would have or not anyway. Hits the 139. Sorry, 99. Jacob Sock and Fusasar all. Honestly, no, he just.
It's probably
I thought that there were 2 in. So it was my fault, actually.
62 is the look. Trip 10 over to the double 16.
He's not missing
His
doubles.
finishing is perfect. I mean, it's pretty much near perfect.
Finishing. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more there. And Van Veen's aware of what's happening, and now he's aware of the situation. It is win out for him. 5 on the spin is necessary for Van Veen.
Well, now that I see this comment, Mike Halsher, I'm just going to give you credit for the masterclass comment because I did not see it ahead of time, but let's be fair. I'm just going to give it to you.
Wadamina 1 of 40 on the open here, just continuing the onslaught. And you got to give Gideon some credit here. He's not rolling over by any means. He's, in fact, performing better and better each leg throughout, and they're just both continuing to rise and rise.
And rise.
And rise.
Needs 2 troubles here, or else he is in trouble. Guess what?
Wadamina wants to hit one for a finish chance, and he does find it on the last start there.
Man.
Setting himself up for potential break of throw for the win.
Yeah, you know what's great is beating your friend over here, but you know what's better? Hitting a 170 finish to beat your friend. Not going to do it.
Yeah, but Van Veen only got himself to 164 there. He didn't really get himself to that checkout that he wanted to, and it has to go now, or else the tournament is over.
And it does not go. So Wadamina 3 darts for the match and a 6-1 victory over his fellow countrymen.
Working his way in.
And he just was, it was a masterclass in doubles. Well done to Jermaine Wadamina. He deserves it. $6,000 goes to JW. $3K goes to Van Veen. I know that they both don't need it based on their amount of wins so far this year, the PDC and last year. That's why they're ranked as high as they are. But hats off. Congratulations to them. And congratulations to DPFL. This championship, the qualifiers, they did everything they were supposed to do and everything that they wanted to accomplish. It brought over these players to play, and it allowed them the opportunity to have success in a very challenging, tough field where they had to work their way to it. But congratulations again to DPFL champion Jermaine Wadamina. Nick, final thoughts.
We're just spoiled here. Again, North American darts has been on the rise. Darts in general has been on the rise. And events like this and players like these guys coming over here is one of the biggest reasons for that. The growth of the game is something so important to us, right? I mean, we've watched it, we've worked with it for the last couple of years on our end, and to see these players do what they do and do what they do so well, and also on top of that, all these guys that have come over here from Europe have been so nice with everybody that's getting a chance to meet these big-time pros, to be in this room. I mean, we talked with Ryan Watson earlier, winning the amateur event, basically a brand new player, true amateur, talking about how he's playing with his idols. It's like going onto the basketball court and getting to play with LeBron James, is how he compared it to.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just a dart fan from Indiana who is just excited to be in this this greatness that surrounds us, right? And it's a pinch me type of situation that we get to do. Great moment for Jacob Saw, great moment for DPFL. You can see them celebrating this. That's Steve McDowell and Tim Way celebrating the victory for the Dutch Superstars there in that final. And, man, I don't think we could ask for a better day. Start off, great shout-out that we need to give to the IT crew who finally solved everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And tomorrow we go live 10 a.m. start time, Eastern Standard, of course. So please make sure to give some love, give some support, and give a chance to watch some more great matches from these wonderful, wonderful players.
Yeah, guys, tomorrow we have a great day scheduled for you, and it's an all-day schedule starting at 9 a.m. for the Super Cup 1, the 65+. We have the Super Cup 2, the 65 below. Women's double starts at 11 with Division 1, and then Premier Division is at 2 p.m. All of the DPFL divisions are running through tomorrow. Oh, women's division, not doubles. I apologize. I can't read. So
He can't do math, we found out.
That'll do it from the team here, from Will Stewart, Nick Dichiria, and Sean Green. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Huge shout-out again. Congratulations to Jermaine Wanamina for winning the DPFL championship. We will be back in action tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then.
We'll be back in action at 10 a.m.
Don't do that to me here.